with the kids that are recovering from cancer and be able to sit on a couch with them and play their favorite video game and just watch their face light up. And it really comes to show that even in the darkest of days, video games can put a smile on your face. And I think that'll always stick with me forever.
Gaming has really empowered me as a former mixer partner of understanding that there's so much culture in gaming that really wasn't exposed before. It's really empowered me to start seeking out better ways of having a cultural connection with somebody who doesn't even share the same culture. You know, it's all about learning about different cultures and learning about other people all together. So it's really empowered me to just want to explore the world by ways of meeting new people.
My most powerful memories related to gaming always include having spent time with my friends or family, whether it's sitting in front of the TV and beating Metroid, or going to the mall and to the arcade to play Street Fighter 2 with my friends, or camping out overnight waiting for the launch of the next console. It's with people.
So to all the big dreamers out there, remember, no matter who you are, where you come from, you can do it. So keep creating, keep playing, and power your dreams.
I'm a renegade.
We see a future where you are at the center of your gaming experience.
Watch how we do this. No, you can't stop it.
This is the most immersive console experience ever.
Watch how we do this. No, you can't stop it.
We embarked on a quest to find creative teams that have the mastery of our art form.
Game Pass members can play over 100 titles.
Every Xbox Game Studios title will premiere in Game Pass day one.
We are giving gamers the option to connect across devices and across platforms in a way that we never were able to before. This is about giving you more choices, giving you more ways to play.
The games you want, on the devices you want, with the people you want. Gamers are really at the heart of everything we do in Xbox. We are building this for you.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for.
What this console launch means to me is that I'm going to be able to enjoy these incredible games the way they were meant to be enjoyed.
It feels like everything's been coming full circle after nearly 20 years of incredible gaming memories on Xbox.
This launch moment is a culmination of 5 years of innovation in the accessibility space for me.
This generation of consoles is by far the best that I've ever seen, and it's completely out of this world.
I think it's really, really, really cool.
This generation is about giving you the tools to be what you want to be.
Being able to play games at 120 FPS is going to be awesome.
It gives the opportunity to create excitement in so many different ways to capture the sense of community and togetherness of gamers around the world.
every single time that I have seen that next system come out or that next great game with awesome graphics, it reminds me of where we've come from.
For me, this launch moment means that more people than ever will be able to jump into the next generation of Xbox.
I know that I'm going to be making even more memories with even more friends, and I cannot be more excited.
Whatever your preference, whatever your choice, get out there, go play.
All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Xbox launch celebration live stream. My name's Larry here of Xbox Live's Major Nelson. I will be your host today, along with Kate, Malik, Kat, Jeff, Tifa, and many other Team Xbox members from around the world. We will also be joined by hundreds of our Xbox FanFest fans. See them up there? We are coming to you live from Studio D on the Microsoft campus here in Redmond, Washington, right outside Seattle. Now, this building that so many members of Team Xbox and ordinarily work in but today the circumstances are a little bit different, so they're not coming in and out. But there have been many great memories, ideas, and games that have come from this very location. And since we all can't be together in person this year, we thought it would be fitting to bring you the stream right here from the center of the action in the atrium.
Fitting indeed, Larry. Now today, it's not about big news and reveals, it's about playing games. And that's what we're gonna be doing all day on this stream. Plus we've got a few surprises and fun, different aspects you're not gonna wanna miss. So we hope you're also playing games at home today with us as well, because we'll be playing right alongside you. So whether you're watching us on your primary screen, a second screen, your mobile device, we're just thankful and grateful you're joining us here today.
I'll tell you what I'm grateful for, Kate.
Yeah.
This is my third console launch. I was around when we launched the Xbox 360, the Xbox One. Last year, we unveiled the Xbox Series X, the world's most powerful console. This year, we introduced the smallest next-generation console, the Xbox Series S. And today, people around the world are finally experiencing the future of gaming for themselves. All right. Right? I agree. Now, for the next 5+ hours, we'll be on the stream celebrating the launch of next generation of gaming with developers, publishers, celebrities, and of course, fans. We've got a great stream plan playing Watch Dogs Legions, Forza Horizon 4, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny 2, Tetris Effect Connected, and more.
So let's jump in with a new next-gen title from Xbox Game Studios that gives you a top-down perspective and, of course, the opportunity to save every human on the planet. This is Gears Tactics.
Just like we planned it.
Good work, Jack.
Join the party. Well, if you insist.
Summon the beast.
Holy shit.
We're done here.
I'm so excited to be here today. PC gamers have been playing this critically acclaimed game since earlier this year. But if you prefer console and haven't had a chance to play it yet, today is your lucky day as it launches on all Xbox consoles.
And you are lucky because this is a great, great game. But what I think you might want to know, how does a turn-based strategy game made from the ground up on PC make that move from mouse and keyboard to, I will take apart the set here, to the Xbox controller? And here to tell us more, joining us live from Vancouver up in Canada, Tyler Beelman, the Publishing Design Director up at the Coalition. Happy launch day, Tyler.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm super excited, thrilled to be here kicking off the show with you guys, and I'm so excited that everyone will get to play Gears Tactics on their consoles today.
They don't know what is coming for them because it is an excellent game. But let's say you're new to the world of strategy. Gears has always been a third-person cover shooter. How did you decide to make a turn-based strategy game in the world of Gears?
Yeah, I mean, it was the process of prototyping and proving things out, and making sure that we could take what was really essential about Gears-style combat and translating that to a different camera and a different perspective, but all the while bringing what makes Gears great to it. So we've got big boss fights, we've got incredibly satisfying combat encounters, and we've got a really amazing story to go with it. So we're really happy and proud of how Gears Tactics plays on the console.
And it's widely known that I'm a huge Gears fan. Gears Tactics doesn't really take place during the same time period as the other games, right, Tyler?
That's right. It actually takes place about 12 years before the events of the first Gears of War game. So about right around Emergence Day, well before the events of Marcus Phoenix and Gears 1. And the game revolves around a sort of reluctant hero named Gabe Diaz. And if that last name sounds familiar, this is Kate Diaz's father, Kate Diaz being the main character in Gears 5. So we get to explore his journey. He's a tactical commander who's had some bad experiences with the COG. And sort of when we meet him, he is working in the motor pool in sort of self-imposed exile. But he's brought back into the fold to fight an incredibly dangerous locust scientist named Ukon, a geneticist. And Ukon in Gears' backstory is the monster that makes the monsters. If you've seen those big Brumacs and Corpsers, those are Ukon's pets. And so our heroes need to go on this journey to try to stop Ukon from creating even more devastating enemies that will take down the planet Sarah.
All right, Tyler, we didn't come here to talk. We came here to play and also to talk while we're playing. So why don't we fire up the game? You're playing live here on Xbox Series X, right? There's the controller. Yeah, so why don't we take this footage? Yeah, so let's load it up and let's see what we're doing. Where are we in the game here? Well, Act 2, Chapter 7.
we've got this loaded in about 2/3 of the way through the game. So we've got lots of cool skills and abilities, which we'll talk about. I've got a 4-person squad here, but the squad now, as of today, also includes Jack, the sort of signature Gears robot companion. But as we move through the objectives here, I'll show you some of the basics and kind of get people who are not familiar with tactics on PC. I'll give you kind of the basics and why it's a special game. The first thing that I want to point out is that even though it is a turn-based tactics game, the game does not take place on a forced grid. You are free to move wherever you want in the game, in the map. You can create any sort of firing lanes or trap areas that you want to. You're not constrained by that. The second thing that I would point out, and kind of what makes tactics special, is in a lot of turn-based tactics games, you're very limited to one move action and one shoot action. In our game, we have 3 action points. You can divide those between your movements. So this would be a 1-action movement here, a 2-action movement, and then a 3-action movement. Or you can fire your primary weapon or your secondary weapon 3 times, or you can use these skills. So you'll see the skill bar down at the bottom. These are all the cool skills that I've leveled up or figured out how to get through my equipment loadout. This is my scout, Michaela. I'm going to look around a little bit actually and get some scope out the battlefield. So this is an equipment case over here, and I can see a bit of the objective, but I can't see into the fog here. So we're going to move our scout up. Scouts are really good at penetrating, getting in close, and using their shotgun to finish units off.
It's a nasher, man. It's a nasher.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right? You're going to bounce through there, and you're going to take them out with one shot. So one other thing I'll notice, this is not something that we teach in the game. It's kind of a pro tip, is you do have this limitation, this radius of 1 action of movement. But because, we're a Gears game and we want you to be flowing into the cover, we'll give you a little extra movement. That movement up to that cover would normally cost you 2. But because you're snapping into that cover, it's going to cost you 1. So when you're playing, you want to always be looking for those little advantages that will help you conserve action. So we'll move our scout Marcella up here, and she has managed to reveal, wow, a ton of enemies. We've got our sort of hammerburst drones here. Those are sort of the normal soldier command units. And then there's a Cantus here, and I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit and show you the Cantus. And the Cantus is kind of a healer class, and it has this opportunity attack, so I can't get in super close or else it will knock me back. That zoom, actually, while I'm talking about it, this zoom is something we put in on the controller. It's on the right trigger, and that's sort of something we put in just for console users because we know you're going to be playing a little further back. So we give you the opportunity to get in, and that's really important if you're really trying to position really carefully to make sure you've got the right firing lines.
Tyler,
that zoom is also
jump
adjustable in the settings.
Yeah, just to jump in there, the team has done a lot of work to adapt a genre that's usually, played with on PC with a mouse and a keyboard for it to work with the Xbox and with the Xbox controller. Can you talk a little more about what's working when you do that?
Absolutely. We basically threw out the controls altogether on the controller when we started the console work about 10 months ago, and we really wanted to make sure that it felt as native as possible. So, for example, this bayonet charge that I've just selected is a skill on that bar that my Vanguard Sid has, and instead of making you sort of hunt and try to find the right location for it, we just snap the cursor to it, and so you can cycle through. Even though these are not viable targets, you'll kind of end up on the right one. That kind of background work, just to make it super smooth, are the kinds of things we did. Another thing we did is on the right trigger, I mentioned the zoom, but on the left trigger, we actually slow down the cursor movement a bit, and so you can actually get a little bit more precision on where you're moving the unit to. And so those kinds of, and there's a ton of these in the background. We overhauled the front end where you do all the customization screens to make sure it works really perfectly with the controller.
Tyler, let's see some action here, because the thing that I want to talk about, is the fact that you wouldn't necessarily think from a remove that Gears, which is known for its quick action and you shoot first or you're probably dead, at least in multiplayer, would fit with like a patient thinking man's game. I do love the Retro Lancer, and I love that that's in here. You've done an amazing job of capturing the feel of Gears in a game that is a completely different genre. So I'd love to just, we're seeing it, but I would love to hear a little bit more about the steps you took to bring in things that are classic Gears, like a Lancer, directly into a Theron Guard or something like that you've done that make this game feel Gears and yet completely new.
Yeah, I mean, it was really important to us that we make a game that feels like Gears, and part of that is making sure that we are rewarding aggression. In a lot of turn-based tactics games, you have a strategy of sitting back. Yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm going to try to place it just right to maximize the damage with the grenade. This is Gears, right? So you have to push past that cover and take out those enemies. So what starts out as a very intimidating looking front of enemies, through the depth of the tools that you have and the things you can do, and sometimes just a blunt force object like a grenade, we really wanted to emulate what makes the Gears combat so special, and that has to do with creating flanks, pushing through fronts, and one of the mechanics that we hit upon in about the middle of development, but it became something we doubled down on, is the execution mechanic. And I don't think I have enough actions here to show it in its sort of full potential. But if you can down a unit, actually I'm going to use Jack here to try to protect.
Now Jack
Sid.
is entirely new, because I played this game. I beat the whole game on PC and I loved it. And for someone like me who's like, okay, do I need to play this again? You've actually added a ton of new content that makes me want to go back to the game, whether I do that on Xbox Series X or S, or if I want to do that on Windows 10 PC. There's a ton of new content in terms of enemies, weapons, and of course Jack. So I would love to hear about the new stuff.
Yeah, so Jack is entirely new. He has his own unique skill tree that's unlike any of the other classes in the game. He goes on every mission with you. So you don't have to trade off your sort of offensive capability of your units for the kind of cool tricks that Jack can do. Jack comes standard with a buff called Wingman that lets you improve the accuracy and damage of the other squads. You can cloak Jack. Jack doesn't use cover, so it's important to make sure that Jack is protected. And we added a whole new area of effect element to the game. So he has these capsules, and these capsules create areas of effect that that will debuff enemies or buff your unit. So in this case, I aggressively moved Sid up into this position. So I'm going to try to protect him by using a shock capsule, which should debilitate these enemies and not allow them to move or shoot, kind of protecting him. So he's going to fire off his capsule, and now, because those units are shocked, Sid can maintain that forward position, but he doesn't have to worry about those two units.
Now, one of the hardest part of the game is always choosing what characters you want to use. You start to fall in love with different ones. You know, do I want to have, you know, more than one sniper at the expense of giving up a scout or something like that? But you don't have to make that choice with Jack, do you?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, I mean, Jack's skill trees, I mean, those are still difficult choices because he has all of these cool toys that you want to use. So, you know, he brings a lot of different options to the battlefield. I'll just move up a bit here. He doesn't take up a slot, does he? No, he doesn't. He goes on every mission with you, every side mission, every story mission. It was really important for that you know, we really embrace the player here, and we want to give the player a ton of different tools. We're going to put you in really challenging situations. We're going to throw tons of enemies at you, but the depth and your cleverness will always, well, in a lot of cases, not always, should help you get out of it. And that's, you know, that was something that we felt like was important as we developed the game on the PC, and then in translating it to console, making sure it still has that feel. I've found myself in a bad position.
And to overcome all these enemies, could you walk us through how do you go about squad building and trying to find the best characters for each one of the challenges that you have on Gears Tactics?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I can leave the mission and show you kind of where you do all the customization, and it'll just take a second for it to reload back into the convoy. We have 5 different classes in the game: heavy, sniper, support, scout, and vanguard. Each of them has a signature Gears weapon. So they have, in the case of the support character, they have the signature Lancer. You can see here Gabe, our hero, who's carrying the Lancer. You know, one of the things people told us very early on when we were developing is how much they loved the skills. If you're an RPG fan and you're looking for sort of a deep experience in that way, we've got an incredible depth of skills. So each of your support classes can be built entirely differently. You can see all the skills that I've got unlocked on Gabe here on the right side. And in addition, every weapon has weapon mod slots, so you can customize the stock, the magazine, the scope, the barrel, and so there's a lot of different options for you there, and you collect these weapon mods through the progression of the game and by those equipment cases in the level. And that really allows you to build out these ultimate builds the way you want. The same thing goes with the armor. Ooh, there's an epic destroyer vest here. That's pretty cool. You should probably have that equipped on.
And some of the gold tier accessories can really be game changers. I mean, like radically, you know, even affect like how many turns you get, and it's worth it to go out of the way for those chests, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, but one of the things Jack can do, actually, again, kind of a pro tip, is Jack can go retrieve those chests for you. So again, you're not trading your offensive power for that, which is pretty cool. When you go to the
your gamer tags
mission,
out there, I think that's how you know we're doing this live. Is here it comes.
Absolutely. So this is the mission screen here where we have that mission we were just on. You go in here, you choose who you want to take on the mission from your roster. Oh, there's Cole making a special appearance in his thrash ball armor. Look at that.
Cole is awesome, by the way. We'll talk more about later on how to unlock him, and it's very easy to do, and you're going to want him.
Yeah, it's really cool that he comes with a unique set of armor that gives you a little boost in the early game by having it.
This is great. Let's, can we talk about, you've talked a lot about all the things that are added. You're getting new armor, you're getting a new character in Jack, who was essentially a fifth wheel in a good way, if that was a thing. And so it was like, wow, this game must be getting easier, but there's another side of that coin, isn't there?
Yeah, we knew we couldn't give you more tools without giving you more obstacles. And so we brought in a class of enemies called the Deviants. The Deviants are sort of Ukon's rejects. They're a little overpowered, a little unruly. So there are 5 new Deviant enemies, and those Deviants have unique skills that kind of allow them to function as a captain for the encounters that are in the that you go through. So, for example, the Deviant Wretch has a pack effect that will make all the wretches around him harder to kill. Those wretches, if they push through your front and get to you and attack you, they will push you out of cover, which then allows hammer burststones to shoot you. So every time a deviant is on the field, you have to be very careful, and you have to approach the encounter in a different way. And so we've sort of sprinkled those throughout the campaign. So again, even if you've played a single act on PC or played through the whole game, it's a very different experience when you get to the console. And then the last thing I'll throw in that we added is a new tier of loot. We've added an equipment tier called Supreme. So when you're going into these weapon mods, there's a high level of red Supreme equipment. I don't think I have any, actually, because this is too early in the game. But those have a synergy to them. So, for example, if you have all of the different weapon mods of Supreme for the sniper rifle, it turns it into a crit machine, and that can just keep critting over and over again. And that's exactly what you want to take down those high-powered enemies that might be a little bit further back, like the Cantus, that are trying to buff up the enemy team.
Tyler, if you had to put it out there, what's your favorite squad and what's your favorite formation on Gears Tactics? What would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Scout and Vanguard classes because they do what Gears does really well. It allows you to push through, find a flanking route, and deliver a high amount of offense without the enemy having the benefit of cover. So I tend to lean into Scouts. They also have a cloak ability, which allows them to push through. And then the Vanguard's kind of interesting. We have a lot of different, more traditional classes like the Heavy or the Sniper. But the Vanguard is sort of unique in that the Vanguard has a straight ahead sort of attitude. So whereas the Scout, you might want to cloak or flank around, what you want to do with the Vanguard is push forward and sort of move through the fronts that way.
We're taking a look here at Gabe Diaz, and you mentioned earlier that Gabe is Kate's mom, and you're going to learn
Kate's
a little
dad,
bit. I mean, Kate's dad, yes. And you're going to learn a little bit more about her lineage going in. But something I just want to call out, I love strategy RPGs. I played XCOM, Mutant Year Zero, Phoenix Point, Mario Rabbids. If it has the word tactics in it, I will play that game. Very few of those games have a really good story, and you've put a ton of work into the story. There was even like one point later in the game where I was like, I couldn't believe it. So talk about like the story and the world building that goes into this. This is not just like map, and on forever.
Yeah, I mean, the game takes place in Vasgar, partially, which is a region of Sarah that you discover in Gears 5, except this is many years earlier. And so you can recognize some of the architecture and some of the things if you're a deep Gears fan. And it was really, it was an experiment for us that whether or not we could create a tactics game, which usually has a sort of point of view that's a little more omniscient and a little less personal. And can we do that, create a story around a main character that you grow to care about, surround that character with supporting characters like Sid and Michaela that bring the Gabe story to life. It has the sort of AAA cinematic quality that you're used to, which of course looks amazing on the new hardware. And that was, for us, part of Gears are big boss fights, and we've got those. It's that sort of character-focused story. We've got that. It's incredibly relevant to the lore. So in addition to the basic combat and intensity, we made sure that we brought in that really high-quality story that makes it feel like Gears.
And Tyler, I heard you have added a lot of new stuff to the game on the PC too, and you've talked about it for a little bit here too. Is there anything else in the game that you want to talk about and show us?
Yeah, I mean, there's new achievements. So for those achievement hunters out there, we've added, I think it's 400 gamer score worth of new achievements. So there's plenty of stuff there for you to hunt down. And of course, just a note, you can play anywhere. So if you've started your games on PC and you come over to console either through Game Pass or buying the game, you could pick right up where you left off and continue your saves, which was very important to our technical director, Cam. Like that was the one thing you had to make sure worked. So it's really great whether you've played it or not, whether you are a longtime Tactics player or a Gears player or even someone kind of from an RPG background. We believe there's something for everyone with Tactics.
For sure. Thank you, Tyler, so much for being here today with us and for showing Gears Tactics to everyone at home.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Happy launch day.
So that is Gears Tactics, which everyone can play now on PC, Xbox One, and starting today, Xbox Series X and S. And of course, it's on Xbox Game Pass.
I think Tyler's got a lot of mail to sort through now and a lot of private messages. So if you play the game by December 4th, you're going to get the Thrashball Cole character pack. We saw a little bit of that and what that includes. Let me tell you, it's voiced by Lester Spade. He's got his famous catchphrases and woo, and like all the things you love about Coltrane is into this game as well. So you're going to want to get that. Plus, all you got to do is complete the tutorial and you get the Armored Gabe character skin to use in Gears 5 multiplayer. So it all connects together. So while we can't be together for this in-person celebration, and we love having you up here, but we do miss seeing you, we can still celebrate. So we're bringing our fans together virtually through an Xbox Fan Mosaic. So if you want to participate, go to fanmosaic.com/Xbox Fan Mosaic. There's dashes in there. We're going to put that up down there for you. And you can share your gaming selfie, and we'll watch the Mosaic come together during the stream. The whole world is playing Xbox today, and that goes for Team Xbox too. We're playing, as soon as we get off camera, we're going back there, we're going to be playing Gears Tactics. So throughout the stream, we're going to be checking in on all of our friends here at Team Xbox to see how it's going.
All right, guys, we're going to be recording some Squadrons gameplay for the fine folks at Xbox. So we're just chilling today, going to get a few games in. You guys want to warm up with a dogfight, and then we'll dive into fleet battles?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's knock off that space dust. Pick out those Wookiee hairs. Get on it.
Ion cannon, away. The first ion missile is away.
I can't get away from
Hey, wing on me, he's 25 health. If anyone can make some magic happen. Oh, it's not going to matter because we go down. Game's a
It's a who. Punch it, Chewie.
That's some big hits coming in the butt.
No.
Oh, they got me, dude. That bomber is doing such a good job. Coming around to make a bombing run. Oh, come on, baby. Dang! Oh man, this has been an interesting day of Squadrons. Not our best, not our worst, but absolutely super fun. This game runs and feels great on the Series X. For folks lucky enough to be playing on the Series X this week, we hope you enjoy launch day. We hope you enjoy launch week, and excited to see what different games you're going to be playing. But there's so many good games coming out this week. You got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny's new DLC, Call of Duty hits at the end of the week. I mean, my goodness, there's just too much to play.
Are you a huge fan of Xbox? Want to spend time with that community, unlock special access to exclusive experiences, sweepstakes, Xbox gear, and more? Well, I've got good news for you. Xbox Fan Fest has gone digital. Join for free today, and in addition to all the other benefits, you'll also get access to today's drop of exclusive merch into the Xbox Fan Fest gear shop. And you can also opt in to our Xbox Launch Celebration Fan Fest sweepstakes for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, Series S, and that awesome custom Xbox Series X fridge. Now, the winners will be drawn at 3 p.m. Pacific time today and announced before the end of this live stream. So if you're 18 or over and want to join, sign up now at xbox.com/fanfest. Now, if all of that doesn't impress you, let's see if this does.
Hey guys, DJ here. So I got some really cool and exciting news to share with you guys. So 20 years ago, I teamed up with my buddy Bill Gates, and we launched the very first Xbox console to the world. And since then, over the years, I've had the real privilege of working very closely with Xbox to deliver Xbox consoles and Xbox games to kids all across the country in America and all over the world. Kids who are in need, kids who are fighting the good fight, kids who are hospitalized getting treatment. And we have delivered these smiles, if you will, over the years. So, the exciting announcement is I'm teaming up with Xbox once again. We are getting ready to launch to the world, of course, the brand new Xbox Series X. But before the world gets it, I have an opportunity to team up with Xbox and deliver some of the very first Xbox Series X consoles to kids all across the country in 20 hospitals. And we are teaming up with a charitable organization called Gamers Outreach. Now, Gamers Outreach is this awesome organization that provides video games and software to help kids cope with their stays in hospitals as they're getting their treatment and fighting the good fight. This is a look at the very first special edition rock outfitted Xbox Series X console. So we are outfitting these hospitals across the country with the Rock Go-Kart specials. That will obviously include this Xbox Series X. Holding this controller really brings back memories, because me, as being an avid gamer, I mean, I just remember the nights when I would stay up all night long and I would just get my ass kicked playing games. What is important is over the next year, we have over 50,000 kids who are going to be able to play this game. And I want to thank Gamers Outreach. I want to thank my good friends at Xbox and Microsoft. And thank you, Bill Gates, for letting me come on your journey 20 years ago. And most importantly, to all the kids out there who are in the hospital, who are getting their treatments in the United States and all around the world. I send you love, I send you strength, I send you mana. Stay strong, and have a great holiday season, and enjoy your new Xbox.
Man, I'm so excited about this new system dropping.
I've actually booked 2 weeks off work, specifically for this.
I'm already planning on giving my old Xbox to my mother.
Non vedo l'ora di poter toccare con mano la nuova generazione di console.
I'm going to go pick it up curbside, bring it home, hook it up, get everything going, and then I'm going to press the go live button and enjoy it with my community.
And I'm planning to play a lot of new games with the Xbox Game Pass.
The following week, I'll be playing Master Chief Collection, the original Halo Combat Evolved, in 4K, 120 frames per second, thanks to the new upgrades for Series X.
It's been really great having those games pretty much our entire lives now. So I would have to say we are super excited about this new Xbox launch, and especially for Halo Infinite when that comes out.
Nothing really feels better than coming home and hopping online to play with the boys and get a few matches done.
Super pumped for the next console launch. Let's go.
I cannot wait to see what the 4th generation of Xbox gaming brings, because right now it just looks incredible.
Hey everyone, it's Phil Spencer. Thanks to all our fans and players around the world for joining us today. You're the heart of our vision for the future of gaming, and this launch celebration is all about you. We're thrilled to see so many of you around the world playing games that you love, the way you want to play them, with the people you want to play with, on the devices you want to play on. So to everyone who has an Xbox in their home, and all of those who have their heart set on getting one down the road, and everyone that loves video games and what they bring to you, thank you. So, let's do what we came here to do and play some games. First, here's a look at a game I play a ton of, a trailer for Destiny 2 Beyond Light.
The light and dark ready themselves for a new phase. So must we.
The day we've been dreading has finally arrived. The darkness is here. We are deploying Guardians to all corners of the system to find answers.
I'm picking up a distress signal. Someone's in trouble.
My friends, we are all in great danger.
The Vanguard only recognizes the light. Someone has to do the same for the dark. Stasis is just a tool. We must use it for good.
This power is a gift. One I will share with all of you. One by one, we will rise again.
There is only one truth: death.
You are not special. The darkness is mine!
Go beyond the light on the all-new Xbox.
Hey, as I said, big fan of Destiny 2, and the trailer looks awesome. Beyond Light, it's an important moment for Destiny. New raids, stasis powers, and a lot more. I can't wait to play with everyone on Game Pass. I'll probably be on tonight. Game looks and plays great on Series X and Series S, and it will look even better when the next-gen update launches in December. My good friend, Pete Parsons, CEO of Bungie, is here to play the game with me on Xbox Series X, both of which launch today. Woo. Hey, Pete.
Good to see you, Phil.
Good to see you. It's we get to play. They put controllers in our hands, and they completely lose us. I'm already getting ready to play. But
they almost think that we're good at this.
Well, you better Sherpa me through this, because I've never played Beyond Light. This will be my first time. I'm excited. But I know you play a ton, and you play a lot with the community. Like, when you think about all that Bungie's done to get to this point and launch Beyond Light, like, what's really hitting you right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's so exciting for us, which is, you know, we're players of Destiny, as are you.
Yeah.
And the community has become a really important part of everything who we are. It gives us feedback. It feeds us. You know, we continue to be a part of that community, and we also have this ongoing dialogue with the community. And so we're super excited about where you're headed with this new launch, because not only is the hardware fantastic, but the continued focus on building, growing community, the social aspects of it for us are fantastic. It's great.
Thanks. You know, and I think the partnership that we have around Game Pass right now in the game has been fantastic to see. And really, when I think about Bungie and Xbox and our history through Xbox Live and so many of the things that we've done together, it just seems natural that we working together to bring Beyond Light and the new generation of consoles with great updates. You know, 2020 has been a challenging year. When you think about all that you've had to do at the studio to get Beyond Light done, any unique challenges?
Yeah, I mean, well, one is we have a long history together, and that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And Game Pass has been really great for us to engage in. And you know, we moved the entire studio out in March.
Wow.
Which is a long time. And so Beyond Light, we're really proud of the work. I'm incredibly proud of the work the team has done for Beyond Light. But it is largely a product of everyone being at home. And so when I look at, not only I'm completely inspired by the work of the team to make it, but also of our operations, IT, security team allowing us or giving us the ability to be able to move out and be productive. That said, you know, working from home poses its own challenges. So this has been it's been a long road, and yet I think the work speaks for itself.
That's awesome. And to be launching a console today and having Beyond Light come out at the same time seems like, you know, a special moment for Bungie.
It's very exciting for us, and as you know, it's a long history. We have a long history of partnering with Xbox with launches, and it's kind of fun to see that come back around. It's been many, many years since
Many
we
years.
started on this journey together.
Okay. Well, we're going to start playing. I think we're on an Xbox Series X here. Again, I have no idea. Oh, there you are. I have no idea what are we looking at here? Why don't you explain a little bit where we are?
At its heart, the pyramid ships have come back into the system with the Seasons of Arrival, and now we're going to have to deal with that in both the new locations that we have, so Jupiter and Europa,
Nice.
as well as new powers where we ultimately decide to wield the darkness with stasis. And so that's what we're going to do.
And just so I'm clear, you did take my light level, right? Let me see it.
Don't.
Okay. More grinding to do. Let's go.
All right.
Your old pal Drifter was.
Do you know where we go?
It's time to ditch the light, good, dark, bad dogma.
Oh, you're talking to that
Folks
guy.
are finally starting
All right.
to see it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk with the Drifter.
Okay.
And then we'll head on.
Just let me have this one, Three Eyes.
You ready?
All right?
I think
Just
so.
once.
I'm ready. Oh, do I need to talk to him too? Okay, sorry.
So if you remember, we have characters coming back from Destiny 1, the Stranger.
There we go, sorry.
I know. I owe you an
We will get through
explanation
this.
for all this.
We will. I hope.
I
was
am
asked Guardians
the
to
biggest
destroy the
consumer of Destiny
To
lore.
prevent
It's actually
darkness's arrival.
not true. The Grimoire.
Actually, one of the things that I love is that the team
but
has
I
done
now
such a
know
good
that
job
fate
of
comes
building
knocking
lore
sooner or
over the
later.
years. That
The floodgates
not
are
only do we
open.
have
The darkness is here.
members of our community who are
I wield
focused
it
on
now
just
with
lore,
intent to stop our enemies
but we
when
even
our
have
mind cannot.
achievements that are lore
Your
based. And so
resilience within the
You
pyramid
do.
proves you're
I'm just
capable
kind of a
wielding
put
it
the
too.
crosshair on the enemy and pull the trigger.
Before us
That's,
lies what
that's
we
my
call a
Destiny play,
ziggurat.
and I love it.
Its
And the
purpose
grind.
is temptation. To begin your training, you must give in.
Okay.
Here,
Ah, that looks familiar.
All right.
take
Okay, I'm following. Oh, you're already going.
All right, so we're on the surface of Europa.
Okay. No enemies yet.
Nope.
Can I hit you with a grenade?
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so we're going to try to uncover the secrets here. So I heard you
I
do
understand why you're going along with the stranger's
some of your
plan,
team meetings on
she's
Inside Destiny. Is that true?
telling us everything.
I will, any excuse, do I want this?
Yeah.
Okay. Any excuse I have to play video games, I'll do it. I've done in Destiny, Minecraft Dungeons. You kind of have to temper the one-on-one based on the kind of player skill of who you're meeting with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's
The longer
locked.
we're here, the more nervous I get.
That one's locked.
Not that I think you can't handle
That
it.
one's locked.
I know you can.
They're locked for you. Oh, we have a
I
waypoint.
just
Here we
wish
go.
had a
It's over
better
there.
idea of what that might be.
All right.
We're definitely.
Oh, look, it's Destiny, so we're going to go to one area, we're going to go back. and
Oh,
we're gonna go back.
stop.
Look, sorry. Anybody who's looked at my hours played on this can. Oh. Okay.
All right.
So we're on Europa right now.
We are. So there's Jupiter in the distance.
Looks good. So this right now is running 60 frames per second.
Yeah, 60 frames a second. But what do you want
What's
to say?
Crucible running at?
Do you want to say the fun thing about
Well, you
Crucible?
guys did the work. You should say it.
No, you get the. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I'm not a huge Crucible player. I'm very good at getting shot in Crucible, but I do know playing Crucible at 120 would be amazing.
And
so
we are announcing today, right now, Crucible at 120 frames a
nice.
second.
Thank you for that. So good.
Yeah,
so good.
Super exciting. I can't wait to play. I was actually talking with a friend of mine. Actually, she was on earlier, Katarina. I'm looking for. we're both looking forward to playing this evening.
I think I can get shot twice as fast at 120 frames per second.
I think you probably can. I think last time we were rolling strikes, right?
Yeah, we were. That was fun. We had a good time. I still have that banner that I got for doing that. People ask me all the time, hey, how'd you get that banner? It's a secret.
Oh, people...
Oh, there's people in.
All right.
So launch day at Bungie. What's going on back at the studio right now?
Well, you know, the studio, it's such an interesting time at the studio because the studio is largely empty.
Yeah.
And we have our online teams. They're standing by as we look for the traffic that's coming in.
Because you've launched on all platforms today.
Launched on all platforms today. So it's a super exciting time for the studio. Once again, you know, we've been managing seasons for the last 7 or 8 months, but this is, you know, our biggest content drop in a very, very long time. And so for the team to be able to have this experience is pretty incredible.
I'm not used to looking at this gamer tag for you. You've recently changed your gamer tag, I understand.
Okay. Yeah, you know, you helped me out on that. So everyone, my gamer tag for 20 years has been Mango.
Mango.
And a good friend of mine, April McKee, 20 years ago, asked me what I wanted for a gamer tag, and I said P squared, P2. And as a backup, it was Mango.
Yeah.
And I was told that I needed to go with Mango because they couldn't do a 2-character gamer tag. Turns out...
there's a way to make that work.
Turns out there's a way to make it work. Phil Spencer did with P3. And
I think they weren't telling you the truth because I've been P3 since the original. Oh, and look at this. Graviton Lance. Graviton Lance works well in P2.
Anyway, Phil.
So they changed my... So I now have the new stasis.
Yep. Now
So
you
talk
have
to me about
stasis,
this.
Yeah. So stasis essentially is wielding the darkness. It largely has to do with elements of freezing or binding your enemies.
So that's...
Or blocking them off in walls like I just did with my grenade. Or dying like you would do.
No, I'm not dead, don't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Do not. My excuse is they have me sitting like 20 feet from my screen. But I'm not dead yet.
It is a long way away from the screen. Anyway, Phil, so you and between you and April, after 20 years, reconstituted my original request for P squared. And so now...
Is that what we're going with? We're not calling it P2.
It's not P2. You're P3. And I'm not going to take that away from you.
So we're going with...
Because P squared or P2 is obviously a better number.
Yeah, it's less than. So that's the one way of putting it.
And I really appreciate it, actually. Uh-oh. Oh, what happened here? Oh my gosh.
My
Did you die?
Oh, no, I heard you're going to nerf my guillotine.
Then I died. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right. This is called two middle-aged guys playing video games.
No, now it's not. Now it's called... Oh, it's a pound. Okay. Oh, it freezes them and kills them. Okay.
Yeah. Do you pop a super yet?
Yeah, right now.
Can't see anything.
Do I still have the headbutt is still in? Nice. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go get that.
I died.
I know. I'm gonna help you.
I blame you though.
Wait a minute. Let me mope. It makes me sad.
No.
I'm gonna get shot.
Okay.
Now you can mope on me. That was my bad. I'm not gonna let you.
No. This is no.
This is first encounter. Okay, let's actually play. A lot of gold bars here.
Oh man.
Right.
I'm not selling this.
That's okay. my first time playing it, so. Now we're on. What is the? Oh wow, that keeps right back.
Well, we're also.
Are we under level?
There's just a bunch of scary exclamation marks around all of the combatants.
We're just gonna slow down, take our time. We have like 15 minutes.
That's what we're gonna do.
Turtle, Jamie, get you.
We're gonna hide for 15 minutes.
Okay, here they seem to be powering up our stages a lot. So let's do this. If I freeze them, can you at least shoot them? I'm the one wreaking havoc on all these.
Hey, in all seriousness, the launch of this is the launch of the new console is really exciting for us.
Thanks.
Not just in terms of new consoles are awesome, but I think I said it before and I'll say it again. The push that Xbox is making towards social. One of the things we've talked about with Destiny, going all the way back to 2009, Phil, was we wanted Destiny wherever you are, and wherever your mood, and so. And to become that social experience that people want, that third place where ultimately you have these great casual encounters, but you also have these intense encounters as well. And I think we've been able to do that, but I think Xbox has been able to pull that off with continuing to build on social, but also continue to build on Game Pass. So we have more people are able to engage with the Destiny universe and become a part of it and part of the community. And on top of that, just the ability to play on multiple devices is also incredibly important. I remember, how long was it ago you showed me you were playing on your phone?
Yeah, it's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so Phil came by the studio like 2 years ago and was playing on his phone. I couldn't believe it. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
And just the idea of our ability to, oh, did you die? I'm sorry.
I've like revived you 3 times while you've been chatting. So. No, we've talked a lot about your guys' vision. I think Bungie.net was an inspiration for a lot of the things that we looked at, which was obviously created before we were garbage right now, on Xbox Live, and just watching how you guys have evolved that service. And it's great to get to partner on where you want to take this, and maybe even talking about other things that Bungie could be working on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of the team, and we continue with the building and growing the Destiny universe, and we have many, many years ahead of us to continue to build and grow Destiny, but we're also working on other things as well. And one of the fun things about working with you and the rest of the team is, I think we've tried to make a universe that will that welcomes you, like no matter where you are.
Yeah.
No matter where you're from, how you identify, like we have this inviting environment that you can come in and just have a great time.
It's awesome.
And if you just want to shoot some stuff and get an achievement from it, that's great. If you want to go and do much more intense activities like pinnacle activities like raids, or Nightfall, you can totally do that. And so we offer this great range of fun things to do that are more fun to do with or in front of your friends. And that's always a great. Okay.
Season rank. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. I can't see anything I can't see what you're saying. All right.
Oh, they're moving us. They're moving us. We went too slow.
Where are we going?
They're fast forwarding us.
Okay. Yeah, so it's been fun to be part of that partnership. I mean, I think we share a lot of the same common DNA. Certainly, we've had an incredibly long relationship with each other. But yeah, at its core, Destiny has to be a great game. It has to do a lot of fun things. It has to be this hopeful, inviting world. But engaging you socially and allowing you to be a part of this larger community with your friends ultimately is the most important thing that I think we can do. And it's pretty humbling when you see just the level of engagement that we have with our community and how important our community is to us. I'm laughing right now because I'm sure I'm getting lots of messages from our community because of people I play with, and I know you do too.
Yeah.
And that's just super exciting when like your favorite game is also like your favorite community of people, and it's pretty rare to have that.
One of the things, there we go, I think. When we were talking about Xbox, maybe people don't know your history with us.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I was at Microsoft a long time ago. Phil and I used to work together in games, and a few of us worked on actually the original Xbox.
Yep.
And then we also acquired Bungie.
Yep.
And that happened in May of 2000, if you can believe it. I can't believe we're getting old, man.
We are, yeah. I think getting doesn't need to be in there. I think.
And so I was an early employee on the Xbox, and as were you. And we worked on the acquisition of Bungie, and then I was ultimately fortunate enough to flip over and work on the Bungie side. I've been there pretty much ever since.
How many years has it been now with you at Bungie?
Well, the entire span has been about 18 and a half years. Wow. And so, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Like I'm super inspired by the team. Like, even during the pandemic, Phil, like every week we do this team meeting, and I get an opportunity to tell people how much I miss them. How much I want to see their faces, and talk about what we're doing, and we've just been able to assemble this collection of some of the most talented, passionate, inspirational people you've ever met, and it keeps growing. I mean, I think I was employee 44 when we started, and
there's more than that now.
There is more than that now. It's several hundred people, not only working on Destiny but working on new projects. Yeah, and we're an independent developer, and so we've also built out our own, publishing infrastructure and ability to communicate with our fan base, and so that's been an exciting journey. And,
it's been awesome to see. You guys have done an amazing job.
Thank you. Yeah, really. I mean, I have to say the same thing about you all. But all right, we're playing.
I am still listening to this.
Prove yourself a worthy
I'm getting.
opponent, and she will show herself.
I'm going to pretend like everything's going fine. I'm just playing.
Is it not working for you?
No, it's just about to work.
Okay.
Just going to about to work.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Anyway. So this is, I think we're going to come up against Aramis, as we've had the new pyramid ships have come into the system. A new force has arrived that wields the darkness on Europa, and that is what we're going to tackle.
Nope.
Anyway, so going back to our long history, I mean, obviously we have a long history with Microsoft and with the Xbox. I always think about not only the launch of Halo CE as it's known now, but certainly, I think we changed the world together with Xbox Live and Halo 2, and I think we continue to do that kind of work together. Hopefully, Game Pass and then Beyond Light and the launch of the new consoles will be a continuation of our great history.
And the fact that, I mean, obviously it's not just Xbox that's launching right now. PlayStation has a big launch. You guys have a big presence there. You've grown your presence on PC. I mean, just the complexity that you guys manage now with all the different platforms, just great to see how you've connected those communities, allow me to move between PC and Xbox, which I do quite a bit, playing back and forth. I just really love how you've embraced letting people play where they want to play.
Yeah, and we have cross-generational play, which we're doing as well, and we'll continue to push on making sure that, if you want to play our game, you can, and you can play with your friends no matter where you are, and no matter what device you're on. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to push towards that because we think the Destiny universe is pretty special. And I'm excited because we have this really great roadmap ahead of us. for the Destiny universe. Beyond Light kicks off a new trilogy inside of that universe. And then after that, you'll see new games coming from Bungie as well. And it's been fortunate that we've been able to build up the kind of talent that's able to continue to build and grow the Destiny universe as well as think about new things.
Cool. Well, I think that's about it. You've seen some more talented players than I playing through.
And I.
Really excited to get to play Beyond Light. Like I said, I'll probably be on tonight playing. Appreciate the great partnership with Bungie. It's always fun. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
And to everybody who's waiting to play this game, jump in. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be exciting times. I'll see you everybody tonight. I'll be online on Xbox.
See ya.
All right. Take care.
He's the ex-military rock star that headlines Cyberpunk 2077. And though he's been a part of the franchise since its tabletop days, what do we really know about Johnny Silverhand?
I love this town. The city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on. City like any other. Legends are born here.
Johnny Silverhand is a rocker boy, and a rocker boy is a character class from the original 2020 pen and paper game. A rocker boy is a very charismatic individual who's able to lead and inspire others. Johnny Silverhand is one of the most famous of them from his time with the band Samurai, and also well known for his political activism. Johnny Silverhand was born in College Station, Texas. He joined the military at a young age and became part of the Second Central American War, an ill-fated American war that takes place in the late 1990s in the cyberpunk timeline. He abandoned the war, becoming disillusioned with the United States and the world at large, and signed up with a group of Aldecaldos that were traveling back to America. In a world ruled by corporations, Johnny Silverhand stands against them, Arasaka Corporation most notably. He's extremely anti-authoritarian, and in the past he's led direct action against the corporations, including starting a riot at Arasaka headquarters and later leading a band of mercenaries in a direct assault against them.
How about we go over the plan?
Johnny Silverhand is a very strong-willed individual who is a bit of a narcissist. He can also be a bit of a jackass and is really suffused with his own anger. In 2077, you may see graffiti that says, "Where's Johnny?" It's been over 50 years since Johnny was seen last, and it's assumed that he died at the end of the Fourth Corporate War in the Arasaka Tower explosion that he presumably caused. Of course, if you play the game, you'll find out for sure. I'll be interested to see what people think of Johnny Silverhand. On one hand, he's played by a supremely charismatic actor, Keanu Reeves. But on the other hand, Johnny can be quite arrogant and bellicose at the same time. So we'll see what people think. I'm very excited to join this Xbox launch celebration and be part of this fun Johnny Silverhand moment.
It's easy to see why we're a fan of Johnny Silverhand, and that's why we constructed a 20-foot replica of his hand that you can control. Here's a behind-the-scenes look on how we did it. past 24 hours, we've had a poll on Twitter where fans can vote with emojis to select the gesture that this 1,700-pound hand will make next. And the fans have voted for the winning gesture, and that is... Great. Now, all right, so like I mentioned before, you have control of this. A new poll is up on Twitter right now, so go check it out. And keep voting. We'll reveal the next gesture before the end of the show.
We finally arrived at the launch of the all-new Xbox consoles. To celebrate this momentous occasion, we had a number of events kicked off around the globe. Queenstown, New Zealand, the first place in the world to launch, became Greenstown. They launched their own launch live stream and turned the town green for a day, complete with a huge Xbox Series X floating in the Wakatipu Lake with a dreamlike mapped light show. Don't believe me? See it for yourself.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, fulfill all your wishes. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. And then you would get more and more adventurous. And you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now.
Pretty incredible. And did you catch that? Hidden within our regional celebrations like what we saw at Greenstown, there are 7 glyphs. These glyphs, when combined and decoded, produce one word. Can you decode the dream? Find all 7 glyphs, then use the cipher we'll show at the end of this stream to reveal the anagram you need to unscramble and solve. All right, once you have that, then you tweet the keyword that includes the hashtag Solve4X and hashtag sweepstakes to be entered to win our Hero Prize Bundle, which includes everything you need for the ultimate gaming setup for you and a friend, including a new Xbox Series X, a 4K TV, a Samsung Note 20 Ultra, a Razer Kishi controller, and 24 months of Game Pass Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. There will also be 7 runner-ups who will get an Xbox Series X console and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Get ready to solve for X.
Over the last year, we've seen gamers contribute to so many crucial charitable causes through Xbox, and we wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you, thank you, thank you. This year, the Xbox gaming community showed up and raised over $4 million for important causes. In the spirit of Giving with Xbox and Powering Dreams, we're donating $250,000 around the world to power the dreams of local nonprofits who are delivering vital support for local communities. We've partnered with Soft Giving to fundraise for Make-A-Wish International. At Xbox, we care so deeply about all the members of our community, and we want to invest in your local community with causes that are important to you. Each person that donates is automatically entered into a sweepstakes. All throughout the stream, every 15 minutes, we'll be giving away a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate subscription, as well as a few of HyperX Alpha Gold headsets. To donate, please go to xbox.softgiving.com.
You're just gonna see some stuff. All I wanted to be was a hero. I saw my life's path ahead of me. Ichi, would you be willing to get arrested for the family? Reputation is everything. If a Yakuza shows weakness, he's done.
Hit it!
I've been waiting to open this door for 18 years.
Here comes the hot step up.
A dream is what keeps you going. So I say you do it, just like you wanted. Become a hero. Let's start a brand new age of heroes. Well, this just got complicated.
Yes, we must reply.
Why do you always attract the weirdos? Time to call! You sure know how to make an entrance. You can tell us what the hell is going on here. Get this man a diaper. Huh?
Yeah, man.
I'm sure all of us here are a little crazy, but that's the best part of being friends. Let's get nutty!
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
about this title. I know the guy sitting to my left is excited for this title.
Very excited.
And I gotta say, having watched that, it is one of the wildest games I've ever seen for Xbox. Yakuza Like a Dragon looks like it's got something for literally everyone. I'm looking at you, Fighting Crawfish. Here to tell us more about the latest entry into this cult classic series, senior producer Scott Strickert. Scott, welcome to the stream.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh man, thank you for being here. And I will say thank you for making Jeff's day come true, but we'll get to some of that a little bit later. That's the one. It is. Now, for someone who's never played Yakuza, the Yakuza title, of course, that storied franchise, what should they know about the series before they jump right in?
This one is one of the ones that you can almost pretty much jump right into because it's a brand new protagonist, Ichiban Kasuga, set in a brand new city of Yokohama, Japan, and also it's a brand new action turn-based battle system.
All right, so we're looking at live gameplay here right now, right? So tell us, this is, if you've played, let's say Yakuza 0, you've played Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2, which are part of Xbox Game Pass, you should do that right now. I don't know why you're watching the show. This looks a lot different than what you're used to, but at the same time, there's a lot of familiar things. And tell us about how you turn this into an RPG without losing the flavor and what makes Yakuza Yakuza.
We've absolutely taken the Yakuza formula, which is, a pretty high octane kind of battle system, and turned that into what you'd expect from an RPG. And the marriage of those two systems is this. You get a lot of really crazy kind of battles. It hasn't lost that Yakuza spirit at all. It's very fast paced. It's still got some action elements to it. There's just a lot going on, and it's really fun.
I like that. There's a lot going on. Yeah, no kidding, Scott. There is a lot going on in that trailer we just saw, and I don't know. It's like there's a part of me trying to figure out what to even start and unpack. But Jeff, our resident expert here, I feel like this is a great time. You're looking at gameplay. What's your first impression here? What's your thing that you're pulling out?
Well, I gotta say, you guys are way further in the game than I am. So I'm like, you get 7 people? So we could talk about the party system. We could talk about how great the game looks. I'm assuming you're playing in, there's a couple different, there's like high resolution mode. I think you're in sort of the normal quote performance mode. And the game it is the best looking Yakuza game to date. I don't think there's any debate about that. But where to start? Why don't we start with like the new locale, which is Yokohama. We've been in Tokyo and Kamurocho for the previous Yakuza games, and also spending some time down in Sotenbori. But this is a new place, and I can tell I'm like maybe 10 hours in, and I have seen very little of what there is to offer in the town. Mostly because if I cross this one street, all the goons are like super tough and they will kick my butt.
Just like real life.
Just like real life.
Tell us about Yokohama.
Yeah, so it's our brand new city. Ichiban gets dumped off here very early in the game. I won't spoil that, but the impetus for going to Yokohama, we've got these 3 factions that are essentially fighting for control over Yokohama. And when Ichiban kind of gets involved in their drama, and as you've been talking about, this city is massive. It's 3 times the size of Kamurocho if you've been exploring that. And you can essentially take on these different various factions as you kind of cross into the different areas. So there's a commercial district, there's a homeless district, there's a uptown and a low town and a park, and kind of these different factions control different areas. And yes, if you aren't strong enough to go there, you should not go there.
Yeah, you should definitely pay attention. It'll say in the neighborhood how many stars are there, and that's how difficult it will be there. And if you ignore it, you lose half your money when
Is he
you
dance
battle.
fighting?
Let's talk about this.
Can you bring me through here? I'm both intrigued and very concerned.
So yes, there's a whole RPG-based job system in our game. You can essentially unlock and change jobs, but of course, in your classic RPGs, you have fighter, thieves, mages, and those kinds of things, right? But you take that and apply it to the real world, and as a result, we've got musicians and breakdancers and idols and you name it, it's here. There's just a lot of jobs that you can level up, and it's what makes it really cool is just that you go in expecting like a warrior and a thief, and you're like, okay, I know how these jobs play. I know what to do with a thief. He's going to steal something. Whereas you go to a musician, you're like, I'm not sure what this guy's going to do at all, or this breakdancer, what are his moves going to be like? And the more you level them up, the more zany they get.
So we see these QTEs here, and moving from a series that had been known all about brawlers and really like action, and you kind of needed some stamina to like fight some of these tougher characters and dodging out of the way and blocking at the right time. And I was wondering how that would translate to a game where, like, if whoever's steering the game right now puts the controller down, like the game would effectively stop if it's your turn. However, when you're into it, this is not something you can sort of sleepwalk through these battles. There's a lot of times you want to hit the timing exactly right. Like right there, you hit the Y button for more battle. That's a tough folk singer right there. And I actually got super into, like, on the defensive side, you've got to hit B at like just the right time, and you can do sort of perfect blocks. So it is while it's a turn-based RPG, this is not just like, all right, I'll just hit A and I'll just go to the next thing and select and select and select.
I'll take it.
Right, yeah, it does keep you on your toes. That's kind of that marriage I was talking about. It's just, we took an action system and applied that to an RPG system so that you can, it's not going to be passive. You are going to want to think about where the people are positioned and how your guys are interacting with each other. Even in the sense that, if you put yourself between a traffic cone or a sign and you between the enemy, you can weave that into your attack. You'll just pick up that traffic cone and automatically wallop some dudes with it. So it's not just a, sleepwalk through a battle system kind of thing.
Well, here's a question that I know is ripe on Jeff's mind. Ripe on a mind? That's a thing?
No.
Okay,
Let's not try to make that a thing.
Okay. Guess there goes Fletch, too. Anyway, I will say, we've seen party members here. How do party members join the campaign? Talk to me about that aspect.
Right. So you're going to be recruiting this ragtag team of down and out kind of guys. Your first friend is essentially a homeless dude that you kind of befriend as you are dropped off in this homeless camp, and then you befriend this ex-cop, and it's just this group of people who have been on the downside of the socioeconomic thing in Japan, and together you find a common cause, and your team just grows and grows and grows because Kasuga here is actually a very charismatic dude. He has a lot of things about him that just draw people to him, I guess. He's that type of protagonist. And we spend a long time at the beginning of the game really building up him and his backstory and teaching you kind of what Kasuga is all about. We're a very narrative-heavy game. It's a lot of cutscenes. It's a lot, you can settle down with your drink of choice that you might want to sip and, sit down at the beginning of the game, and then, the deeper you get, the more it rewards you.
That drink is probably in the game, by the way, because there's all kinds of real Japanese brands in there that I wish I could get a hold of right now. So let's talk about Kasuga. Ichiban Kasuga is the hero here. We're used to seeing Kiryu Kazuma from the previous games. This is like a new starting point. You're building him up from nothing. So I want to talk about him, and then I also want to talk about the voice acting as well. So why don't we talk about Kasuga the character, and then we'll talk about who's bringing them to life.
Sure. Kasuga is he's a optimistic young yakuza who grew up playing JRPGs. His favorite game, Dragon Quest, and that informs his life. Like that informs kind of his.
Just a bio there.
Yeah,
it's okay to admit I was the inspiration. It's okay.
Absolutely. We base Ichiban Kasuga on Jeff, and no. He's got this mindset about him where he's everything he's learned about positivity and being a hero is essentially taken from JRPGs that he grew up with, which is informs what he sees when you get into these battles. They're kind of through the lens of Kasuga in that he's seeing a battle play out like a JRPG. So of course the game had to be an RPG. That's how he sees battles play out in his head. And as a result, Kasuga is, like I said, he's this ex-Yakuza. He doesn't really know what to do with his life. Very early on in the game, there's a situation he gets in with his boss that betrays him, and now you kind of have Kasuga kind of looking to find a purpose, and it's in all these other people and all these ragtag group of people that he recruits into his party that where he finds that.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about the voices, but since we're here in like one of these like Sega arcades, I just love that. When you're thinking about like a gangster story, you might be thinking of Goodfellas or something,
sure.
and this is a game. Good grab. You can grab a puppy out of a crane machine.
I mean,
there's something.
Is there anything better?
Are you sure that how long did you practice that to be able to get that on the first try? Because that I would drop a lot of yen into that.
That is achievement.
We're all getting a lot of achievements here today. So let's talk about what's bringing this to life. So in the previous Yakuza games, they were all in with Japanese language with subtitles, and that's how you've gotten to know those characters. And we spoke actually a few weeks ago on the Xbox podcast with Major Nelson, and we met KG Tang, who is voicing the English language character of Kasuga. And like when we first booked that interview, I was like, oh, that's nice. Somebody will use that. Not me. But because we met him and he's really nice, I was like, we'll start it up. And I'll put it on English to start, because I'm a nice guy. I met him. Sure. And he's amazing. He's really good. And I have continued to play the game in Japanese. I've noticed that he really brings Kasuga to life in just like a phenomenal way. And I know I'm losing my standing here with the Yakuza community by playing in English. But I just want to say it's a phenomenal job. And I also wanted to call it George Takei from Star Trek, and is the voice of Arakawa. And this is not like you've probably seen like, oh my, like sort of zany George Takei. This is serious George Takei, and he delivers an amazing performance that like sort of haunts you afterwards. He's seen a lot of stuff. And it's really impressive, the level, and this is a lot of what you do, I know, Scott. So talk about the effort that went into the localization here, and especially now in English voice.
It's not like that.
Yeah, so we decided to bring an English dub to this primarily because it's a whole new cast. I don't think we would have ever touched that with Kazuma Kiryu and the team, kind of who are, those guys are the fan favorites, and you establish what those Japanese voices are because they're part and parcel with those characters, right? But here we saw an opportunity to bring an English cast here to, hope widen the door a little bit. I think that there's some people out there who are, obviously the core fans are going to be like, this is the game that you play in Japanese, and that's perfectly understandable. But the opportunity to bring in more fans with an English dub to particularly, make it a little easier to access, and then you can flip languages whenever you want if you ever want to go back to the Japanese, because the Japanese performances are equally as amazing, if not more so. So our English cast, like you said, we've got some big heavy hitters here. We go to all links just to make sure that we're capturing the Japanese essence. This happens. I can't tell you how many interviews I've been on and seen Kasuga get hit by a car and just get absolutely off train. I'm so.
He heals quick.
He's clearly walking it off. Hey, here's a question for you. So we were just talking about, the fans primarily and fans of the series, as Jeff would mention. Are there any familiar areas that we'll be visiting from past games that we want to make sure we mention?
Oh, absolutely. You start the game off in Kamurocho. You're starting the game off in a flashback to the year 2000. So that's going to feel really familiar. And that's what this game does so well, is it pulls you into that familiar and then pulls you right back out of it. And so we do have Sotenbori. There's a quick trip there, and Kamurocho, and obviously there's some familiar mini games like karaoke. It's back in a brand new way with English singing throughout. If you've chosen the English voice track, we have over 15 different mini games, some returning, some new, and it's you will feel right at home in a Yakuza game, regardless of the new city and the character.
All right, so we're running low on time here. I could watch you play this all the time, and I think this will be one of those games you'll jump into. Without any spoilers, we were going to ask you about characters from previous games. I hadn't seen the trailer that we just showed here. I don't know who chose Ini Kamozi, Here Comes the Hot Stepper, but it completely worked. The trailers, whoever's putting the trailers together on this campaign, have been phenomenal throughout the start. And at the end, we saw somebody that's familiar, so I think it's safe to say we will see some familiar faces. I won't say any more than that, because you want those to hit a little. You want them to hit hard in the moment. So, Scott, thank you so much, and whoever's playing the game, well done. Sorry about the running into the car, but thank you so much for joining us and walking our viewers through the very crazy, very wild, and yet incredibly compelling Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Now, France is home to some of the most incredible art on the planet. Everybody knows that. And sometimes life imitates art. Here's a look at how France celebrated launch, which also means it's clue time.
I need a second service number on walk-in 1709 bottom.
I'm here at the Xbox Global Celebration to give you an exclusive sneak peek at my new movie, Free Guy. I'm also here to support a cause I believe in, NPC appreciation. After walking a mile in the shirt of an NPC, I have a whole new perspective on video games. And gone are the days of solely praising the main character, the hero, the name in lights, even though he might be the one who takes the arrows when things go wrong and who put in a few decades of soul-destroying Hollywood work fueled by his own insecurities and anxiety. Anyway, please enjoy this clip from Free Guy. My name is Guy, and I live in Free City. Mondays, am I right, Joe? You said it, Guy.
Guy, listen carefully. You're a character in a video game.
So the entire world is fake, and I'm a character in the background.
Yes.
He's just an NPC. Wait.
Hey! Today's gonna be different. Start now. Who is this guy? I'm sorry.
This game character has been turning heads by being the good guy.
Who is Blue Shirt Guy?
You're right. Who is he or she? Indeed.
This loser is ruining my game.
I don't care if he's Arnold freaking Schwarzenegger. Terminate him.
It's the first time I've ever driven a car before.
I really wish you'd mention that.
One of the best things we brought to Xbox last generation was Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You can play over 100 high-quality games on console, PC, and the beta app on Android mobile devices, all for one low monthly price. With new games being added all the time, did you see Tetris Effect today? There's something for everyone. Members can play new Xbox Game Studios titles the same day they release, plus a catalog of recent hits and a variety of games from our publishing partners. And now with EA Play, members get more than 60 of EA's biggest and best console and PC games, exclusive in-game challenges and rewards, special members-only content, and access to trials of select games. With Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you get more than just a library of great games. It also includes all of the benefits of Xbox Live Gold. You can also enjoy free perks along with discounts on games and game add-ons. In fact, yesterday, we announced a new perk for our Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. We are offering new Disney Plus subscribers 30 days of Disney Plus. With this perk, Ultimate members will be able to stream endless entertainment from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic. Epic movies, series, and originals from the world's best storytellers, including the new season of The Mandalorian, are waiting. If you join Xbox Game Pass Ultimate now, you get your first month for just $1. So here's a look at how you can watch the newest season of The Mandalorian with Disney Plus.
When we game, we dream. And for many of us, especially our team at Xbox, we dream of games. Thanks to the Xbox Series X, we're dreaming bigger this year than we ever thought possible. To celebrate, we decided to create something special. Introducing the Xbox Series X Dreamscape Adventure, an interactive web experience that will take you on a lucid dream journey inspired by this year's biggest next-gen games. Will you wield stasis or explore Night City? Become a Viking or fight the Maw? Choose your path in the Xbox Series X Dreamscape Adventure at dreamscape.xbox.
No. Oh, come on. Drop it hot, baby.
One down.
Nice. Let's go find some more people to fight. No. Oh my God. I'm here. I'm getting you. We're in a good spot. 3 kills, 3 squads left. All these death boxes around. Only one other squad. Let's go. I don't know where they are though.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the yard. Coming to Grounded Early Access. And yes, we're still in early access. Comes an update that lets you go deeper than ever before. New secrets to discover. New items to craft. New enemies to face. With some old favorites that luckily can't swim. Oh, they can swim. And of course, that big-ass fish. Play together and bond to survive the pond.
So much excitement going on. The fans are excited. I'm excited. I had an energy drink. We're going to get into some Grounded.
I can tell.
But first, hey fans at home, just a reminder that we're bringing our fans together virtually through an Xbox Fan Mosaic. To participate, go to fanmosaic.com/Xbox-fan-mosaic and share your gaming selfie. Now, whether it be a current photo of you and your current Xbox or of you playing an Xbox game watching live stream, share your selfie celebration with us. We're watching the mosaic come together over the stream, and it's looking good, as we can see here. Now, let's shift gears. If you crossed a survival game with a 1980s kids adventure movie, you'd probably get something along the lines of Grounded, which launched this summer in Steam Early Access, Xbox Game Preview, and of course, Xbox Game Pass. Not only is there a whole bunch of content coming to Grounded, it's also being optimized for Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S.
Absolutely. And now joining us today to tell us more about the future of Grounded, we got Adam Brannicky and Shyla Schofield. Shyla, Adam, welcome to the stream.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for having us. Super excited. Today is super exciting. I'm so glad that we're here.
Yes, lots of fun. We can't wait.
Absolutely. And you know what? I can't wait. Let's fire up that game while we fire up some questions.
Indeed.
Starting with one that I think a lot of Obsidian fans are curious about. You guys are known for your expertise in RPGs, but let's talk about going into survival. More importantly about Grounded here.
Yeah, so it definitely is a very Obsidian, but we are huge survival game fans, and we've been wanting to make a survival game for a long time. And we wanted to put our own unique Obsidian spin on the survival genre. And thankfully, everyone at Obsidian and at Xbox were very supportive of us working on this game. It's very experimental. We're having a lot of fun with it. And we're so super glad that everyone else is having a lot of fun with it, too.
I got to tell you, the first time I jumped in this game, it was so incredibly unique, like you said, and of course Obsidian has a track record like no other. So I'm excited to, more people to play the game. Now, immediately when you look at the game, you can kind of see, whether it be the clothing or anything else, this game has a lot of inspirations from 80s and 90s. How do you all land on that?
Yeah, so I think it's one of those things that I grew up during that time, and I just really loved that, when I first started gaming, it was during that time, and it was kind of a special time for myself and a lot of the team members. But Also, it's just like that time before cell phones, before the internet, where we could just all go outside and just have fun as kids. And we just wanted to bring that feel back with Grounded.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, one, I love the fact that you're using your life as the inspiration and saying, I grew up in that time, so I want to make a game like that. It's so cool. And I love also, of course, the point of, before cell phones, we actually got out and adventured, right? And so now we're just like in our phone all day.
And it's a special time for us. And I think there's also a lot of just cool stuff, like really goofy, things that we put into the world as well that we just got inspired by that time period. So just like the costumes of the characters, a lot of the fun stuff that you can find in Grounded definitely has that like nostalgia from that time period.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I mean, we're looking at incredible gameplay here right now. And while we do, I want to ask a little bit about what people have been saying, what you've been learning about the game from being specifically in early access and Xbox game preview.
Yeah, it's been awesome so far, and we're getting so much good feedback. We, as a team, we love just watching people play the game as well, and just seeing like how they experience the backyard for the very first time. And we're talking every day about everyone's play experience and just making the game better and better based on everyone's feedback. And I just want to thank everyone too for playing the game and helping us out develop it. And I think I wouldn't have it any other way, and I think it's a great experience so far, and I want to continue building the game with the community and with all our fans.
That's the way to do it, build a game with the fans, and I love Xbox Game Preview for allowing that to be the case. Now, speaking of feedback and sentiment, I want to give some sentiment. First time I played the game and I saw a spider, I was terrified. And I'm not a guy who gets terrified by spiders at all, but the way you all, I don't know if it's the scale of the spiders, you all did a great job in eliciting some fear from people. Were you surprised that so many people were talking about the spiders?
No, not at all. They're definitely scary. Even on the team, like we've had some jump scares just in the, from team members where someone just like shrieks out loud while playing the game. And it, even the 100th time playing, you'll still get scared by the spiders. We did a great job with it, and I think it's just something that we love seeing that reaction from people. And it's just a really fun thing to see as a game developer.
I was going to say, it's really a testament to how immersive your gameplay is that people start screaming in the middle of the survival game. Let's talk upgrades, optimizations that Xbox Series X owners are going to see when they boot up and start up Grounded. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we're showing off gameplay right now running on a Series X, and we've been optimizing the game quite a bit. For the Series X and the Series S. So you'll see improved draw distances, improved shadow quality, and it's running at a silky smooth 60 FPS at 4K on the Series X. And it looks amazing. We also have added new HDR lighting. So the lighting just is popping now, and it looks super good. And I'm super impressed with the art team and the graphics programming team, what they put together. And then we've been optimizing the game a lot. So all those optimizations, if you're still playing on the Xbox One, all those optimizations will carry over, and even on the PC as well. So we are definitely, continuing to optimize the game and making the experience better and better.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at it right now, and both with Series X and Series S, like the visual fidelity is amazing, and seeing the light come through the murky water, it adds that extra atmospheric, tension in the game. You mentioned a little bit about, current gen owners of Xbox One. Are there any other things that you're doing to improve the experience for Xbox One players?
Yeah, as I said, we have HDR, so if you're still playing on the Xbox One, and we're going to continue to look at improvements during early access and game preview. So, we're not done developing it, and we're going to continue to optimize in all areas and add, graphics features as well. So we're definitely, continuing to develop the game, and I think it's just going to look better and better from here on out.
Well, I was going to say, talk about development and updates and everything. Don't be coy about this next question.
Here we go, Kate.
Hey, you know what? I was trying to fit in my dolphin sound during this water gameplay, but I did not. You're welcome.
Give it a shot.
So if you guys decide to go Grounded 2 and you're in the sea area, I got you.
Loved it.
Anyway, let's talk about the koi pond. What's going on with it?
Yeah, so our update today, we're releasing it today as well as the Series X and Series S version of the game. But the update today includes a koi pond. It's a huge, expansive area and biome in the backyard. So if you played the game already, there was like the skeleton of the koi pond there, but now it's fleshed out with tons of new content, new things to find, new explorable areas. And that also includes more crafting materials, more insects to battle. And it's a huge, huge update that we've been working on, and we're really excited to finally, show it off and have people play it.
Yeah, I think it really speaks to what you all are doing with Grounded, in the sense that it is a backyard, but there's so many things you could do in a backyard, and some of the expansions, as far as the content and locations to explore, it's really clear through that and other things you all are adding to the game that this is just the beginning. So we're seeing gameplay right now of the underwater gameplay. What are some of the things that you're going to be able to do under there?
Yeah, so as I said, there's all new crafting in the koi pond. So you can craft a bunch of new weapons, a bunch of new items. First of all, you'll need to kind of increase your oxygen meter so you can explore down in the depths. And you can also craft flippers, which will make you swim faster to catch those water boatmen. Those are the creatures that are doing the little stroke right here in front of us. They're really fast and they're hard to catch unless you have flippers. And then there's a big beast of a creature, the koi fish, and the koi fish patrols this area. This is the koi fish's home, and you just really have to watch your back and watch out because the koi fish is big, and it's kind of a big beast that makes the koi pond its home.
It's like a koi fish blimp that just constantly circles.
It's clear that you all want us to live in fear while we're playing this
speaking
game.
of fear, okay, let's talk about arachnophobia, because why not?
Yeah.
Okay, because one of the other things that we do mention, of course, we talked about the spiders, but it's the spiders swimming and attacking underwater that really makes it juicy. I'm just curious if you had any second thoughts about that for some of us who are maybe a little bit scared of spiders, like Malik mostly Malik. Not
only in the
me.
game, Kate, only in the game.
I'm just asking if that was a thing.
When we heard about the diving bell spider during our research meetings, we're just like, we need to have this thing in the game. When we, swimming spiders, like who would have thought? But that there's a spider that swims and lives underwater, so why not add it to the game? And it just adds that extra level of like fear while you're swimming around. Not only do you have to deal with the koi fish, but you also have to deal with these diving bell spiders.
I was going to say, you're also dealing with darkness now, so just add it to the list, Adam. Thanks.
Yeah.
What a delight.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
Really appreciate it.
No, this is great. So you mentioned the koi fish and a bunch of the other insects that I'm sure you're going to add later on in the game. What are some of the equipment that players are going to have at their disposal when they're fighting some of these new creatures?
Yeah, so there's a new weapon. It's the trident. You can craft out of bone, and you have to find those bones. They're buried like deep under the water at the very bottom. So you have to kind of figure out how to get down there first, and that means you have to craft. We have a breathing apparatus, which is like the gill tube, and the gill tube lets you have extra oxygen because that's one of those things that you're going to have to really pay attention to while you're swimming around is your oxygen level. And you need to upgrade that as much as you can so you can explore like every little nook and cranny of the pond. And we also have new armor set. So if you want to build a cool new set of armor, there's the koi fish scale armor, and it looks really, really cool as well.
Awesome. Well, we've been in the koi pond this whole time, and Malik and I, by the way, are just sitting here watching and sort of mesmerizing. So just what happens. At any rate, obviously, people that have played Grounded, they know about the base building. They know about, that home base. Excuse me. Can you tell us more about the new base building options here in Grounded?
Yes. And that's one thing that's super cool is you'll be able to get a floating foundation, and that will allow you to build on surface of the pond and any other water surface in the game. So if you want a big, kind of expansive, wide open area, so you don't have to cut down a bunch of grass to build your base, you can just do it right on the surface of the pond. And to do that, you'll have to find the upgrade to allow you to do that. And the materials are found in the koi pond as well. But that's just a cool new base building option for all those players that love building crazy and big bases. You'll have some new options for you to play around with.
Yeah, when the game first came out, it was really fun watching all the different bases that people built. And so I'm really excited to see all the new features you're going to have as it pertains to that. And so I just want to kind of go back to the a little bit of the feedback loop that you have with the fans and playing the game. Obviously, you're talking about all the new content coming later down the road. What are some of the things that you all are personally excited to add to the game? Any specific features that you're like, I cannot wait till, if you can give us a little hint or teaser.
Yeah, for me personally, I think I'm really excited to get the flying creatures in. I think that's, you can dive deep into the water, but when you're up in the air, like what's up there. So adding in, we're looking at introducing flying creatures pretty soon. We're working on that, and I think that's gonna also, if you're building bases up on top of objects and stuff to get up high, your base won't be safe if you build up there. So I think that's something that we're really excited to start working on and developing. And that includes bees, mosquitoes, and fireflies.
All the hits.
So I think, yep, all the cool flying creatures. And I think that's also, there's going to be a lot of crafting materials that you can find out of each one of those. So if you do, find a firefly, you can craft some cool firefly gear too.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, actually. So you've obviously had a lot of people playing the game, obviously, and they're loving it. And I'm curious, is there anything you've been surprised by in terms of not just for their responses, but what users or gamers have actually done with the game? Maybe it's base building, maybe it's crafting. Is there anything that has stood out to you as a surprise?
I think everyone on the team is just super impressed and just amazed about the base building of the game. We never thought people would build such huge bases, and it's just amazing to see. Like, we introduced the zipline feature in our previous update, and just the creativity of players, it's just amazing. Like, we want to give the players as many tools as possible to be creative, and we just love seeing all the different things that they build out of the toolbox that we give them, and it's so fun, and continue sharing those. The team loves it, so if you do have an awesome base, show it off, and I think that's something that we're really, really proud of as a team, that we built up a game that allows such expressive creativity from our player base.
Yeah, some of the best games, I feel like, of the last generation, whether it be Minecraft, I mean, that game's been going on forever, have come from have really lived by the creativity of the player base, and it's so great to see people making them. A lot of those spaces feel like they're bigger than my apartment here in Seattle, which is a little disheartening for me.
It's okay, but you live near a koi pond, though, so you should be just fine.
That's true.
Minus the darkness and the spiders.
Yeah, no, it's been rough. It's been rough.
Story of our life.
Anyway, Adam and Shyla, thank you so much for spending time to take us through Grounded. But before we say goodbye, I heard that one of the folks at Xbox is helping the Grounded team celebrate an exciting milestone. Let's take a look.
Yes. No, we were
Hi, my name's Adam Brennicke. I'm the game director.
5 million players.
Orange, California. We're here getting a tattoo of Burgle on Marcus Morgan, which is insane to me. I've shipped a lot of video games, and there's always a lot of speculation of how well a title's gonna do before it ships. I lose a lot of sleep, and you have no idea, are people gonna like this? And so we kind of had a little side bet with Marcus. We said, hey, if Grounded has more than 1 million players, would you get a tattoo of Burgle? He's like, hey, if that happens, I'll get a tattoo. And we're like, okay, you're crazy.
48 hours after early access launch, we had 1 million players. So I was like, let's up it to 5 million. And 2 months later, here we are. We're at 5 million now, and it's time to pay up. Burgle is the epitome of the spirit of that game. There's a little bit of weirdness to this burger flipping robots. There's a little bit of pizzazz to the fact that he has a rainbow colored mustache that lights up when he speaks. It's a really cool vibe and a good throwback to that late 80s, early 90s period that kind of speaks to just what Grounded's about, which is this nostalgic kind of freedom.
All right, buddy, here we go. Let's do it.
We wanted to capture that period of time before the internet and before we had cell phones, where you could just go outside and have fun as a kid. So we just wanted to pull that art style that we remember as kids into Grounded. We have a very small team, so each artist has a ton of responsibility and a ton of room to add their own unique flair and style into the game. Thankfully, Obsidian and Microsoft pretty much let us do whatever we wanted to do, and we just went wild with it.
Well, Adam seemed pretty set on a robot buddy, so Kaz and I spent some time noodling back and forth how to dig up a robot from our ancient memories and you have what you have today, and what Marcus has today, now, forever.
I'm trying to remember, like, why did we go like a rainbow mustache? Was there any thought behind that one?
Just to up his friendliness factor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tiny details start adding organically, and you know, when you take a step back, suddenly you feel like there's someone in there. It kind of gives it a soul.
Yeah, this is when it was still stewing in Mitch's brain.
Mitch in particular was more worried about me winning this bet than I was, because he didn't want any of his artwork going on someone's body forever.
We're so happy that so many people have joined us in the backyard and have been able to experience the love that we put into Grounded. You know, this is just the start, and we were just so overwhelmed with how many people wanted to try it out.
From everyone on the team, I think we just want to say thank you for playing, and we hope you never feel safe.
Who knows, 5 million more players, might be back for round 2. I'm not gonna make any promises on that one, but shoot, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Here in the United Kingdom, we welcomed the Xbox Series X and S with a hologram chamber, with content spilling out and swirling around the console. Here's what that looked like.
Well, last summer at E3, CD Projekt Red was front and center with their highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077 reveal trailer. What happened next? Well, it was truly epic as the man himself, the face of Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves, surprised the world on stage to kick off the presentation.
Please welcome Keanu Reeves.
Hello, Los Angeles! I gotta talk to you about something. Cyberpunk 2077. Check this out.
And just like then, we continue to celebrate Johnny Silverhand. In fact, this rebel music icon was also recently immortalized on the Xbox Walk of Fame, where the biggest Xbox moments and achievements are celebrated and literally cemented into history.
Oh, if you're gonna stay, I'll stay. Oh, it's fine. He's off killing somebody else anyway. Like, we're golden. Come on. Oh my god, that was such a close skill check. Is anyone saving that other person? Shnikes. Okay. I'm gonna go help that person on the hook. Oh, okay. You know what? We're not gonna go help that person. We're gonna let that person die. Oh, don't you bring him this way. Oh snap. Run. No. Oh my gosh. Run. Run. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh, what did you just pick up? No! I'm gonna end up dying. Oh my goodness. Well, do I continue as Lisa or do I go try to kill people? Oh, and thank you for the sub! Oh, did I get you? Where did you go, buddy? Hey, friend. Oh, hi, are you limping? Hey, what's up? Are you having a good time? I got this hook just for you. Just hang around. You know, have a good time. I just wanted to have a little chat. I'm in a frenzy right now. Oh, you are so lucky. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get cut? Do you need anything? You know what? Come here. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, Bill? Oh, no. Okay, where'd you go? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, did you think you were gonna get away? No. Here, look, this is just for you. Yeah, you hang out there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm wrapping up here, and I hope that you get to enjoy your new consoles.
With Xbox Game Pass for PC, it's easier than ever to discover and play more than 100 games for your Windows 10 PC, including Xbox Game Studios titles the day they launch. Exploring the deep library of PC-first titles is easier than ever with the new Xbox app for Windows 10. Browse games, view recommendations, filter by genre, and download your next game. On December 15th, EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass for PC at no extra cost, featuring titles like FIFA, Battlefield, Mass Effect, Apex Legends, and a whole lot more.
From the US to France to Australia and finally back home to Great Britain, Playground Games redefines open world racing games every time they get behind the wheel. And now their most recent game, Forza Horizon 4, has been optimized for Xbox Series X and Series S. Here to walk us through the game on Xbox Series X are Mike Brown and Tom Butcher from Playground Games. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Hey Larry, absolutely great to be here. Super excited for a console launch day. Can't wait to show everyone what we're working on.
There's nothing like a console launch day, and I'm so excited that you guys could join us here. Now, a lot of folks have been playing Forza Horizon 4 for a little while here, but what can they expect from Series X and Series S? Because this is a pretty big update.
Yeah, absolutely. You may well have played Forza Horizon before, but I think a key thing to know right now is there has never been a better time to play Forza Horizon 4. The Series X update adds a ton of new features to the game, but I think the key one that people are going to be really excited about is even if you were on the Xbox One X, you still had to choose whether you were going to play in 4K or you're going to play at 60 frames a second. On the Series X, you no longer have to make that choice, and it will be a native 4K 60 all the time.
That's fantastic.
It's super crisp, super high performance. It looks amazing.
I mean, we can see it right here on the screen. A lot of folks have been playing this. Of course, this is part of Xbox Game Pass. So if you're a Game Pass member, you should be playing this right now. And when you get your new console, you'll just get to enjoy all these enhancements. Now, we talked about the frame rate and whatnot unlocking. But what is this new generation of Xbox Unlock in Forza Horizon 4 in addition to what you just mentioned?
Of course. So it's much better performance. We can lock in that resolution, lock in that frame rate, but we've also been able to take a full suite of visual upgrades and pump them up to the absolute max. So the easiest way to understand it would be it's a bit like running PC with everything set to Ultimate, but in a few areas it's even gone past what we've achieved on PC Ultimate. So things like shadow quality, reflection quality. I mean, if you look at the bonnet on the car right here, you can really see how crisp and how accurate all those reflections are on the bonnet of the car.
You know, I want to point that out for a second, because we've seen this in the past with some of the previous generations, and I don't want to give away all the tricks of developers, but usually when you see a reflection, it tends to be a mapping that is kind of fixed. But as you can see here, as you said, on the bonnet of the car, this is real time reflecting what we're driving by. This is not just like, it's not just mapped on there, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a real-time reflection of the world around us. So it picks up all the environment, all the cars that we see around us. It's and I think that just as you can see, it's like a really quick, crisp, high quality. I think the thing that you kind of can overlook about it, you can look at that and you can see that's a really nice bit of technology, and it is very impressive. And I think Tom's doing a great job of keeping his eye on the road and not just focusing on the reflections there, which I think is a trap whenever you get into this view. But it's just the way it beds the whole scene together. It just makes everything feel like it's all taking place in the same world. It doesn't, sometimes how in games, certainly on older generations, things can feel like they're not really in the scene together.
Right.
But with reflections like this, and I think the shadows as well, which we can see now, and we'll get a look at as we play through, everything just fits together in the whole scene. Every single frame just looks that much more realistic.
I don't think I've ever seen a cleaner car on a snowy drive than this. This looks fantastic. Now, for those players, for gamers that haven't played Forza Horizon 4, what makes Horizon unique among racing games?
So, yeah, I mean, I think Horizon, although it absolutely has racing in it, that is a huge component of it, I think the thing that makes it unique is that we try and think of it as a driving game first, and we focus on the joy of driving. Yeah. So even though I would say we have excellent racing and excellent race routes, I think like what Tom is doing right now, where he's just driving around these vast open worlds, it's just such a laid-back, relaxing experience. So if anyone has even the slightest passing interest in cars at all, or just exploring beautiful places, then they're a really great game for you to just relax, sit back, and drive around and explore these beautiful places in hundreds and hundreds of cars. I think it's that.
And I must tell you, Tom, I'm impressed because I've played a lot of Forza Horizon, and by now I'd be screaming through somebody's back garden. I don't know how you're staying. I mean, I know you're staying on the road because you're a great driver, but that's the beautiful part of the Forza Horizon series, is that the road is there we go, is certainly part of it, but you can just go off and do stuff like this that you can't really do in any other type of racing game. That's just fun.
Yeah, it's you know what? Having a couple of hours just racing, sat here waiting to get on the show, gave me a little bit of practice. So I've spent my time spinning off the road already.
Yeah, there was definitely a few cars that he jumped into and goes, well, maybe this isn't the right car for winter.
It's a carefully curated list.
One of the things with Forza Horizon is certainly it's a racing game and you can race your friends. Will two friends on next gen be able to load into races faster, or how are you handling that?
Yeah, so if you've got two friends, both of you playing on Xbox Series X or S, and you're in a convoy together, or you're in any kind of Xbox Live party, you will absolutely benefit from all of the super fast loading updates that we've been able to make to the game. I don't know if you guys caught it there, but Tom just swapped cars. We swapped from that Porsche 911 GT3 RS into the Lexus LFA. That load used to be about 7 or 8 seconds, even on the Xbox One X, and it was about 1 second there. So. All of our load times have been cut to, I want to say almost nothing, but I don't want to over-egg it, but so fast that you barely even notice. And absolutely, if you were both loading into an online race together, then yeah, you'd both benefit from that.
And that's one of the points I want to point out, is that, you know, this is part of the Xbox Series X and S, the next generation architecture. We've got this amazing, this velocity architecture, which allows this incredible read-write speed from the storage device that's frankly is unbelievably fast. And I've been testing it for many months with Horizon and some other games. And load screens are now, as you said, are seconds, if that. So to see a game which is so incredible, an open world game like Forza Horizon 4, to see it load so quickly, be able to swap in and out of cars so quickly, I mean, that alone is impressive, let alone how well it works. Tell us a little bit about crossplay. How does crossplay work in the Forza Horizon 4 series?
Yeah, so I think the great answer to that is that it just works.
Yeah.
And Tom, right now, we are playing on my Xbox. We're playing in retail. This is my account. And all the people that Tom sees around the world with him, I noticed that there's no one on screen right now, but Tom is currently in a real life session. And these people, presumably, because the console's only just come out, are not playing on the Xbox Series X. All these people in the world with him are just other people either playing on PC or playing on a normal Xbox One.
Right.
I think the great answer to that is it just works. There are no hiccups, no boundaries. If your friend's on PC and your other friend is on the original Xbox One and you're on the Xbox Series X, you guys can party up together and take part in all of the content in the game. Almost every single thing in the game is available in co-op as well, so you guys can just join together and have a real.
And also, I mean, there's also maybe some players on xCloud, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, great call out. Which I've been playing on xCloud lately, actually, and it's surprisingly good. It's almost become like I've probably put more hours in the last few weeks via xCloud than via my Xbox, just because I can just play it while I'm sat on the sofa and half watching TV with my wife.
Right. Yeah. Just kind of go through some things here.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I should have called that one out. So PC, Xbox Series X, and of course xCloud as well.
You showed the quick loading of swapping into vehicles, and here we are in this Jeep right now, and this is exactly what a Jeep should be doing. So you're doing a great job here, staying off the road. But tell us about the hardware features like quick resume. This is a feature we've heard a lot about in some of the previews and reviews over the past few days. But unless you experience it, it's really tough to explain. But maybe you guys can show it off here. I don't know if you're prepared to do that. But how does it change the Forza Horizon 4 experience?
Well, I think. Do you want to jump into Horizon 3? I think I've got it. This is risk now because we didn't know this was coming.
Yeah, I'm throwing. So this is live. So anything can happen here. So here you're loading a Forza Horizon 3.
We're going live. Let's see if Horizon 3 does a quick resume. This Xbox has been unplugged, so we might have lost it.
That's quite all right.
Okay, so I don't. Oh no, it is. It's done it. So yes, I think.
So you can see the quick resume in the upper right-hand corner. So it's actually doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing it. So I think one of the great same car. Who'd have thought it?
And we're on the Hot Wheels track too.
So I think just to go back to your question there, Larry, I think a few of the things we talked about here are all about keeping people playing, get you playing fast, get you playing with your friends as fast as possible. And I, like you, have been experiencing the console for the last few weeks and months, and I've just found that it feels like it respects my time so much more.
Yeah.
Like whereas you used to just not even notice that you'd go and boot up a game, like Tom can jump back into Horizon 4 now, and you'd know that from this point you probably had 2 minutes before you were going to be in the game. So you'd have your phone out, you'd be checking Twitter, checking Reddit, maybe you'd even go and get a drink or something while you're waiting for the late game to get in there.
Right.
But now from clicking it from the other game to being in the gameplay, it's down to about 15 or 20 seconds. And it just feels like it didn't quick resume. What a perfect opportunity for us to demonstrate just how quick the game loads from, skip that. Unfortunately, Horizon 4 for some reason didn't quick resume there when we jumped into Horizon 3. Not sure what that is, but it's a perfect opportunity for us to kind of demonstrate that point I was just saying about how much more it respects your time.
Yeah.
So our load from dash into game used to be about 140 seconds. And now from a cold boot, so you're not using quick resume, going into the game, it's down to about 40 seconds, which we'll see now. There you go. That looks might have even been faster than that.
Yeah, there we go.
Welcome back,
Look at this.
I think it really enables those social moments where you have a friend like message you, hey, do you want to play some Horizon 4 or something else? And you can quickly jump into that and just be in the game with them.
Yeah.
And we're back in the same car again.
Yeah, love this car.
and it just works so well with Game Pass as well, because I think with Game Pass, you're much more likely to have a few games that you're currently jumping in and out of and playing, or you might well have friends that are playing Ghost Recon, and so you want to have Rainbow Six. I mean, I've been playing there. So you might have some friends in Rainbow Six. Hey, should we jump into Forza? And then within a few seconds, you're all playing this new game. I think it just feels like the whole experience is respecting you as a gamer that much more and giving you that much more time playing the games you love and not sat around waiting.
What we're seeing some of the beautiful vistas here, the reflections. We saw the bonnet earlier, and we saw some snow as we loaded up here. What are some of the updates that you've added here that will affect details in the environment that are enabled by this hardware?
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, and I don't want this to be the default answer to all of these related questions, but it's a bit like you're playing on PC Ultra. So every single asset that you see in the environment, like you can see these little bits of bush and grass here, those trees. We've been able to increase the level of detail on all of those items as far out as you possibly can, really, so that even those very, very distant objects, those very distant trees, are actually still really full of luster. They're really high quality. They're still able to cast really detailed shadows. And that's something that you may not have noticed in games last gen, that like stuff that's a little bit further away from the camera isn't usually quite as high detail. Right. But once you kind of flick that switch and you've done it, the whole image just sits together that much more. And as I say, it then feeds into other systems like lighting and shadows, and everything is able to just be that much more authentic and realistic.
And it's also important to point out that, you know, regardless of whether you have Xbox One, Xbox Series X or S, with smart delivery, you're going to get the best version of whatever hardware you're running it on. Our systems are going to make sure that you have that best version. So that's what's cool. So you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to make sure, you know, just play and drive off-road and have fun. I want to talk to you about, we're seeing a little bit of winter here, but how will the new hardware change the look of some of the game from season to season? Because Horizon is all about the season of the game, summer and winter, spring and fall. How does that work?
Right, Larry. Well, I think it's a perfect opportunity now for Tom to jump into a race. In fact, it's a perfect opportunity for us to do an entire cross-map load. So if we fast travel over there, this used to probably be around 30 to 40 seconds. That was about 3 seconds. Wow. So first of all, we managed to travel completely across the map in only a few seconds. Yeah. It's in drop one custom. Yeah, you do that one. So we're going to have to use a blueprint event, which is like a custom-made event, so that we can switch seasons, because normally the game tries to keep you in there. So again, now this is one of our worst loading scenarios, when you're having to change from winter into one of the other seasons, usually around a minute and a half. I didn't time that one. Probably around 10 seconds. Very sure. Right.
I wish seasons changed that quickly for real.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing that people probably experience that often, because the seasons last a week. Sure. And so you'd only have to really experience that change once a week. But it's still great that we've been able to make that improvement. So yeah, now we're looking at Tom taking on this race in summer. He told me he's picked this car because it'll make light work of this route. So let's hold him to that and see if he can get the win.
Big pressure.
I mean, you can certainly see some more of the detail. We've talked about the reflections. The sun, obviously, in summer is different. The lighting is different. You can see it in the distant trees here, kind of the shadowing. There's all sorts of nuances that, again, it's a series of little things in some games that will add up to just an overall crisper experience. And one of those, of course, is 4K 60. Tell us more about what that difference means for gamers. You talked about it at the beginning of the interview.
Yeah, so... yeah, you're absolutely right, Larry. I think that, and I'm careful too much not to complain about the experience of the previous consoles, because a few weeks ago I loved my Xbox One X and thought that it was absolutely brilliant playing this game in 60 frames a second on it. But I can only do that at 1080p, and I had to, always had to make that choice, make that trade-off, just because that was the technology of our time. But fortunately, we are now no longer limited by that technology, and you don't have to make that choice. You can get 4K and 60 frames a second at the exact same time, every frame. It's super smooth, super high quality. And yeah, it's with the addition of everything else we've just described. So yeah, massively increased shadow quality, massively increased reflection quality. Just every single frame just has that much more luster, that much more quality, that much more realism to it.
From winter to summer here, we've traveled, we've gone all the way across the map, we've changed seasons, we've changed into multiple vehicles, we even changed games, so it's been quite a demo you guys have been giving us. Tell us, do you have anything else you want to tell us before we let you go?
Yeah, should we jump into the spring showcase?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of summer. We'll show a little bit of spring as well, just because it gives us a bit of rain, a bit of wet mud, which again allows us to really see all those improvements. So yes, that was a load back into winter for no reason, just so we can load straight out of it.
We're gonna wander through winter.
I think that is a thing to note, isn't it? That the amount of jumping in and out of different activities that we've done here would have, in normal scenarios, made for a pretty poor demo, just for the amount of time that we would have been sat watching the load.
Right.
So I think one thing we will mention is, you check our lady there, who is my character. Yep. You can just about see under her jacket that Xbox Series X t-shirt. So when we've had a quick look at this race, we'll show people how they can get their hands on that as well.
All right, here we go. Great looking car.
God, no, I didn't practice this one just before.
This one's actually quite difficult as well, so don't worry, we won't go right. We won't go right to the end of it, so we won't have to embarrass you by leaving to the right.
So this year we're racing the motorcycles.
Yes, that's right. And one of the cool things we can see in this particular thing is we talk so much about frame rate, about resolution, about shadows, about reflections. One of the great things we see here is our improved particle systems. So you have these flares attached to the back of the bikes. The plumes come off those are able to be that much more thick and realistic. Every time that we see Tom's car drop through a puddle, it's splashing up more higher quality water particles than it could have done previously. So again, just as you asked before about what effect does it have on different seasons, I think this is just an example of in spring where it's really wet. We get to see you skip the puddle. I'm trying to show the puddle. Avoiding the puddles.
I'm weighing up showing off the game versus embarrassing myself.
There you go. You just get a much more realistic, a much more authentic reaction from those puddles.
It's fantastic. Now, you guys were showing the shirt a little bit earlier. How do folks get that shirt?
Yeah, do you want to quit out of this before you lose and embarrass yourself? And
I've got to thread the needle.
Right. I feel like he's doing so well, he doesn't want to quit. I know the feeling.
Had a good start.
It's rare, and I know it's been captured on camera as well.
Yes, we dropped back in. So
a moment ago, you were showing that your character had a nice shirt.
Do you want to tell us about it, Tom?
Yeah. Okay. So the Series X T-shirt is available to all players. You don't have to have the Series X, but it certainly helps. And you can access that by going to one of your player houses. Just find this one conveniently in the forest here.
Kingfisher Cottage. Now this could be for any of your player house. You don't have to be in Kingfisher Cottage. You're not raiding somebody else's closet.
No. And you head to customize character. We put a jacket on, but we'll take that off in a moment. And then head to tops, and there it is. It'll be unlocked for everyone, and you can just select it and enjoy a summery Xbox Series X T-shirt.
And that's fantastic. And that's again for anybody who has Forza Horizon 4. And if you have Game Pass, you've already got it. If you don't have Game Pass, sign up. If you just want to buy the game, that's fine too. But everybody gets access to this. It looks fantastic. The game is amazing. Forza Horizon 4, again, optimized for Xbox Series X and S. Gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Thanks for coming on the stream. But with the holidays coming up, you got to have something else that Forza Horizon fans can look forward to.
Yeah, that's right. I think I said right at the top that there's never been a better time to jump in and play Forza Horizon 4, and that is absolutely true. I don't want people to think that they played it when it came out back in 2018 and that they've seen all it has to offer, because we've still been working on it and releasing monthly updates every single month. Since then, there's new cars coming. There's added hundreds of new cars since launch. There's loads of new features, loads of new activities, and we are absolutely not done yet. We have some very, very exciting things still to come this year. So I would tell people to watch this space and keep an eye on all things Forza, because we've got some very exciting updates for the end of the year.
All right, Mike Brown, Tom Butcher from Playground Games. Thank you, gentlemen. It's always great to see you guys, and keep up the great work over there on Playground Games.
Thanks very much, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
We're currently in the middle of the second big charity giveaway of the day, a HyperX Cloud Alpha Gold gaming headset. As a reminder, every 15 minutes, we're giving away a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate subscription for donations to Make-A-Wish International, which helps support children and families in need all over the world. Head on over to xbox.softgiving.com for more information. If you missed this one, we'll have one more big giveaway later in the stream, so stay tuned.
happy launch day. Sketch here from 343 Industries, coming to you live from Studio D at the Xbox campus. And today I'm joined by senior producer Michael Farney, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Halo the Master Chief Collection. Welcome to the show, Farney.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me. I see while we've been working from home here, we've gone on a little bit of a hair adventure, right? Got this going, and you've got yours going down to your shoulders now.
Yeah, I've got the latest in pandemic fashions
Yeah,
here.
I think we're matching in different ways.
Yeah, this is exciting. Console launch, here we are. I'm in like the host seat, which I'm awesomely honored to be here. Putting you in the hot seat now as my guest, and we're going to talk a little bit about MCC, right?
Yep.
So we have a lot of great stuff coming to the Master Chief Collection next week, but before we get into that, I thought it might just be helpful just to take a quick minute and reflect back on this whole journey for folks who maybe haven't been following along on all the work you and the team have been doing.
Yeah, so a few years ago we started by updating for the Xbox One X, and from there we've just continued to improve upon MCC kind of across the board. Our latest and greatest endeavor is taking everything out on PC, and then continuing to improve and support all the consoles along the way.
So over these years that we've been working on this project, which really goes back to 2014, then to 2018, I think one of the biggest pieces of this whole journey is the relationship and partnership we have with the community in our Halo Insider program. Could you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, our partnership with the community has been absolutely vital. Flighting has been the key to our success this past year. Getting builds out early, getting feedback, iterating on that, and just really involving the community along the way to help us get these games out has just proven to be so exceptionally vital.
Yeah, and the Halo Insider program, for those that don't know, is open to anyone that's interested and wants to be a part of helping to make the Halo franchise the best it can be. Anyone that opts in at haloinsider.com will have the opportunity to get hands-on with our work-in-progress development builds, things like alphas and betas, and periodically even send out some surveys and ask for feedback on everything else to do with the Halo franchise. So I encourage anyone that wants to be a part of the franchise, go to haloinsider.com and sign up today. We've got a lot more good stuff coming. So, Farney, at this point, I think it's safe to say that MCC, as it exists today, is an entirely different game than what launched back in 2014.
Yeah, dramatically different, right? We've added a ton of PC native features this year, a ton of new things, content, and everything to all platforms as well. But the best is yet to come.
So, of course, that is one of the main things you want to talk about. Speaking of the best is yet to come, yesterday we were happy to announce that Halo 4, the last title to jump into the collection on PC, will come out next Tuesday, which is also the same day that we'll be releasing a series of updates to add new features for owners of the Xbox Series S and Series X. Could you talk to us a little bit more about what's part of this next-gen update?
Yeah, we are super excited to use all this learning from these past couple years and leverage these new consoles, right? So on Series X, players will be able to play at 4K, 120 FPS. And then for the S, it'll be 1080 at 120. We've also increased draw distance across the board, added enhanced graphics, and added a view model adjuster for the Series X and X. We hope to be able to bring that to older consoles as well over time, but for now, we're going to go with that. And then, of course, just extremely fast loading times, right, across the board. It's been really amazing to see. I think we're seeing a lot of that in the initial videos from the unboxings over the last couple of days. It's been great to see. MCC utilizes that as well.
Yeah, it really does. The whole package makes it just feel like a new, fresh, modernized version of these classic games. You know, and of course, all of this comes on top of the work that you've already referenced over the last years, which includes HDR as well. So not just Halo 4, safe to say all the games in MCC look and play better than they ever have before. So, Farney, I know we have a couple other, I think, key things we want to make sure people are aware of that are coming as part of this update next Tuesday. What else are you excited about that you want us to be aware of?
So, behind all the game releases, we've also been working on a ton of new features and content for the games. One of the big features coming out alongside Halo 4 is crossplay. Players will now be able to play together across both PC and console, however they choose, more or less. On top of that, we've got multiplayer and firefight support as part of crossplay at launch.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to understate how big of a deal this is, because we know the Halo community has been asking for this for a long time, right? So this is like the first time that we have what's going to be close to 18 years of different Halo titles playable over 2 different console generations and PC and Steam, no less. So huge amount of work I know went into that. I'm super excited to kind of unify our community for what's going to be an exciting new chapter for MCC. I know you guys have also looked at ways to sort of check some other boxes for player feedback, including offering some more choice to the types of experiences players will have online.
Yeah, so along with Halo 4, one of the long-standing requests is for people to be able to select better options for their server region. So we're launching that with Halo 4. And then we've also got input-based matchmaking, which has been a huge request since we started our PC journey. So now players will be able to kind of choose what input device they want to play with and play against. And we're offering a variety of options for players to go through that road.
Well, as you know, we've been experimenting and testing out these features in our most recent flight. Can say firsthand, it's feeling great. It just really kind of just brings this larger world together. I'm very excited to get that out next week. But also don't want to sleep on the fact that Halo 4 is coming back. It's returning to form, and there's a lot to look forward to there as well.
Yeah, Halo 4 just looks, feels, and plays amazing. It just is almost like a new game across the board. We've added cool things like per-piece armor customization and a bunch of different options in there as well.
Yeah, and I think for Forge fans would be happy to know that with the move to next gen and to PC, I know the team's been able to add new objects to Forge, so to create new maps and modes, increase that budget as well, add some new quality of life improvements. So really, even more than graphics, I think you're going to see improvements across the board, some of which I didn't even expect you guys were able to pull off.
Yeah, that's right. Again, going back to all the learning from this past year, we've been able to really push the limits in what we've been able to do with Halo 4, bring a lot of that stuff in. Like you said, increase some Forge limits, bring all the good stuff that we've done with some of our previous releases in as well, and just really push the boundaries. And we're obviously going to continue to support and grow through all the games now that we're done with the last game in the collection. There's just so much more.
And one more thing I think would be interesting just for folks who may not be aware is in addition to all these great new features and improvements, there's been no shortage of new content being injected back into these games, along with a brand new progression and sort of seasonal model, if you will. Season 4 starts next week, correct?
That's right. We are launching Season 4 alongside Halo 4. Players are going to get a ton of new cosmetic weapon skins, armors, vehicle skins, nameplates, all kinds of goodness in there. And then we are leveraging our new challenge system that's been out for a few months now to help players progress and gain some of these rewards.
Well, you know, I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's an amazing piece of experience. It's all the Halo classic experiences brought to life bigger and better than ever before. I can't wait to jump back into Halo 4 and kind of relive it for the first time, if you will, next week. Farney, thanks for stopping by. But before we go, just give you a chance, any final last words or shout outs?
Yeah, for me, I just want to give a huge thank you to our publishing team. We could not have done this without everybody that we currently have on the team. It's just been an amazing journey. All our internal partners and our main team, our external partner, SABER, has just been an amazing partner to work with over this past year. And then, of course, the community, right? We would not have had the success that we had this year without the involvement of the community. We're extremely appreciative and really look forward to what we've got coming next year and continued cooperation between our two groups.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially as the community person here at the studio. Really just want to also extend a thanks on behalf of the whole team and studio as well, not just to the Halo Insiders and everyone that's been giving us feedback and helping to play along the way, but just the Halo fans across the world who have been passionate and vocal and giving us feedback and really, I think, driving the whole studio to deliver the best experiences possible. So Halo the Master Chief Collection is available today. You can pick it up on Xbox. It's on Xbox Game Pass, the Microsoft Store, and Steam. And then the next-gen update and all these new features that we've discussed today, along with Halo 4, will all be dropping next Tuesday, November 17th. Thank you, and we hope to see you online next week.
Personally, for me, gaming is everything. Gaming is what connects me to my friends. Gaming is my way of life.
From the world that the developers have created for us, to be able to get immersed and get lost in those worlds, it's truly amazing.
Gaming personally is not only a lifelong passion, but something that I've been able to take into education to have a common connection to talk with many of my students.
It's really empowered me to just want to explore the world by ways of meeting new people.
Mi bebé de 2 años, le muestro lo importante de lo que es una comunidad, lo que es jugar
limpio, honestamente, y siempre ser un excelente tanto ganador como perdedor, ¿no?
I am currently studying games and game development. Gaming for me personally means my future.
It's a new art now.
It's having that sense of achievement, being able to complete challenges that you never thought you would be able to complete. And on top of that, doing it with friends.
When I think of video games, I think of family and friends.
There is absolutely nothing better than spending some time with your friends, playing online on your favorite games, and having some great time together.
Even when my husband went to go to college, we dated via playing games, online games. So it's definitely had an impact on my life.
No, it's a place where I just can let go everything after a stressful day. I just turn my Xbox on, play a game.
Cloud gaming beta with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate gives more ways to play your Xbox favorites across multiple devices. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members in 22 countries around the world can play more than 100 games on their Android devices with cloud gaming at no additional cost. With the Xbox Game Pass app for Android beta, you can quickly try out a new game on your mobile device by playing it from the cloud. And if you like what you're playing, just download it straight to your all-new Xbox without even leaving the app. And if you're away from your console, you can also keep playing straight from the cloud, since it syncs your saved games and your Xbox profile across console and mobile. That means you can play 100+ games in Xbox Game Pass when you're out and about or while your TV is in use. At Xbox, we love how gaming brings people together. That's why Xbox Game Pass Ultimate lets you play with your friends across Xbox consoles and Android mobile devices using the cloud. Cloud gaming beta with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate lets you play when you want, where you want, on the device you want.
Hi everyone, this is Megan Spur, community lead for Xbox Game Pass, and I'm playing Tell Me Why, and I'm apparently throwing stuffed animals at them. I didn't actually water Herbert before we left. That might be a problem. If this were a little bit more like
coffee shops.
True to life, I would be like slip on the ice at least 3 times by now.
Yep.
You know what they say? Safety first in bear country.
Yeah, but...
Do they actually say that? Looking snazzy with those glasses, yo. I'm gonna be a jerk.
Exactly.
Seriously?
Okay, I won't lie. I would be terrified if I saw that. Hey, bud. What's up? Gotta admit, this game is beautiful. Like, I would want to go camping here.
The only way to get this done is to do it.
That is generally how things get done, yes. Okay, so I've heard stories from friends that lived in the snow that like once or twice a year just some kid would disappear because they get buried in the snow. And now that's all I can think of anytime somebody talking about making tunnels. I want to see the creepy frogs.
I just have to remember which one is the silent frog.
Well, I'm guessing it is the one that is covering its mouth. Again, this has been Megan playing Tell Me Why. Gosh. No, going in the creepy house. All right.
This is going to hurt.
Mine now.
I don't know if getting a tattoo is the mark of the truest fan, but if not, it's gotta be pretty close. Thanks for everyone for sharing your love of gears with the community. Now, it's time to show off some of the new features and content for Gears 5 on Series X and Series S. Here with us today are Zoe Curnow and Matt Searcy from the Coalition. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Kat. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's super exciting to be here with you, celebrating the launch of our new consoles. So, have you seen the coverage for Gears 5 performance on the new consoles and what everyone is saying out there?
Yeah, we have. The whole team's been watching. We've been really excited to see the response. People have been getting excited about all sorts of this things that we're bringing to Xbox Series X, and especially Batista in the campaign, 120 FPS in multiplayer. We've got lots more we want to show, especially in this segment, and we actually have a trailer that captures some of the things we're bringing to the new consoles.
Oh, I would love to watch it. Let's roll it.
Whoa! Now what?
I told you, it's not gonna happen.
Covering fire!
You find what you're looking for?
Yeah. Now we need to kill it.
I gotta say, I love the original Marcus, so it's kind of trippy and cool to see someone else in the role. So when you decided to bring Gears 5 to the new consoles, how did you approach it?
Yeah, we knew we were going to show up, and push what Gears could look like on the new consoles. The team really wanted to take Gears to a new level and show what the game could look like. But we also wanted to introduce a new way for people to play, especially if they're coming back to try Gears 5 again. And so we went, that's where we kind of started with our new Game Plus concept. So it's in the campaign. You don't have to play through the campaign to unlock it, but it brings all sorts of new ways to play Gears again.
And other than the new Game Plus, what are some of the other big things that players can expect to see in the game, both for returning players, but also any new players to Gears 5?
There's so much, Kat. We just did so many amazing things. So as you saw, Batista's Marcus, right? Super exciting. That is optional. So if Marcus, as John DiMaggio is your favorite, you can keep that. And then we're going to bring MP skins. So for all those players that have played multiplayer, you've spent your time, earning those MP skins, or you've purchased them, you're going to be able to bring them into campaign and show them off. And that's super fun. We've never done that before. So that's weapon skins and character skins. It just looks amazing. We're going to show we're going to show that to some of you later on. You can also bring your Jack progression. So as you play through Gears 5 for new and other players as well, and you level up Jack, he becomes pretty OP by the end of the game. You're going to be able to bring that progression over into your new playthrough of the campaign with New Game Plus. And so he's going to be able to help you even more in those different difficult situations in combat. And as a part of that, we've got new difficulties. So we've got Iron Man and Inconceivable. So I know Inconceivable is going to be a big one for the community. They're going to want to try it out. You're going to probably want your OP Jack to come help you through those. And then as well, we've got mutators. So we're going to show you a bunch of that later on. But we've got things like Big Head Mode, Bobbleheads, which are hilarious. There's mutators that affect the way the game looks. There's mutators that affect gameplay as well. And so Matt actually is going to jump into some gameplay right now. He's going to play a bit at the beginning of Gears 5 and show it off. So we're going to show off some of the really more sexy Xbox One X and Series X and Xbox Series S features you're going to see.
That's really awesome. I can't wait to see the game now in the Xbox Series X. And honestly, if there's anything I learned with working with you guys on the esports side is that people love skins. So bringing the skins into the actual campaign sounds super cool. And an OP Jack too. So it's a pretty compelling offer here.
Yeah, for players to replay the campaign as well, who've played it once already, right? And then for new players, you're going to be able to see just different ways you can play, and you're really going to be able to switch things up.
And Zoe, for those gamers who haven't played Gears 5, can you walk us through what we're seeing in this segment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Matt's going to cover that. Just he's going to talk through a little bit about what he's playing and what we're seeing right now.
Is not ready for this. She can barely keep her eyes open.
Matt?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I will talk through it. So what you're seeing is the opening cinematic in the game. This is where they're just discussing the mission that they're about to go on. Excuse me, and you'll see in the cinematic, you actually are going to see Dave Bautista as Marcus for the first time. So this is where you see it in that opening cinematic, and you get to hear his voice and see his face. And as we enter into the first mission of the game, and Kate starts to realize a few things that carried over from Gears 4 and what she's going to discover throughout Gears 5. I'm not going to give too much away in case people haven't played it yet, but there's Bautista there in the background as Marcus.
And so, actually, let's talk a little bit about Dave Bautista. How were you able to get Dave Bautista on board to work on the team on this? I think there's a really cool story there.
Yeah, so he actually started, and fans started an online campaign on Twitter when there was some rumors about a Gears movie coming out and being developed, and so he started a campaign to actually play Marcus. And so fans got on board with it, and they started tagging it and talking to us about it. And so we thought, well, what a better way to kind of give a bit of some fan service and get him in the role than have him come into the campaign for Gears 5 and revoice the lines, and then actually put his face on the Marcus model as well. So you actually get to see him in the role.
And from a game development perspective, I would love to get some insights into that. So what was the process for getting him to record lines for all the scenes in which he takes on the role of Marcus Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, it's pretty much our normal process, which is, we get him in the studio and then direct him to read those lines. So he actually is redoing all of the as-written Marcus lines for the Gears 5 campaign. And then getting that into the game is a little more complicated, but we had to be able to switch out his lines. We actually used our localization pipeline for it, which is an interesting way to implement it. But so we just treated him as though he was his own language, which is an interesting way of implementing it, but it worked really well.
That's awesome. We always love to learn a little bit of how things work on the back end, so it's always great to talk to game developers about those things. And still kind of in that vein, and I believe Matt is back. I don't know if he wants to answer this one.
He is back.
Can you guys hear me?
So good to have you back.
Pandemic world. This is fun.
Live gaming.
Exactly. This is all live, so all to be expected. With Xbox Series X, how was then the development team kind of able to enhance the overall quality of Gears 5, which was already really, really high when it first came out, compared to the Xbox One version?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. We're really proud, of course, of what we did on Gears 5, and what the team's been able to do with the new console is incredible. So you're seeing it right now as Matt is kind of walking around and looking around the world. So you're seeing what we call the PC Ultra Visual Feature Set. So this is, you're going to see this more on the Series X. You're also going to get on the Series X the PC Ultra HD texture packs. Those textures are a much higher resolution. You're just going to see more detail, more actual texture in them. It's going to feel much more immersive. Excuse me. And then you're going to get 60 frames per second cinematics, and that is on Series X only. But that allows much more seamless blending between gameplay and cinematics, because you're getting 60 frames per second gameplay with 60 frames per second cinematics. So you can actually see it right now in the gameplay where you see the flashlight and that moment there. You're seeing more detail in the shadows. It just looks a little more realistic. So for our multiplayer players in Versus, you're going to get 120 frames per second as well. And we're really excited about the load times. We're finding there are about 4 times improvement in load times. And there's also improved latency for a lot more responsive gaming. So people are going to notice that a lot. And really, as we keep saying, it's just an overall more immersive experience.
I mean, this is overall gamer dreams come true. It's 120 FPS on multiplayer. We can look at all this gameplay and see the effects on the water and the light and all the destruction. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I was about to ask you, there's players who don't have a top-of-the-line 4K TV. And so there are some enhancements, though, that they can expect from this Gears 5 version, still on the new Xbox hardware. You touched on a few of them with the faster loading times. Is there anything else?
I mean, overall, they're still going to get that more immersive experience, right? You're still going to see more of that detail. There's things like screen space, global illumination. It gives your scene more dynamic bounce lighting. So some of those things, we already had some of those things in the earlier version. So you're not going to get it quite as enhanced if you don't have that console, but you're still going to notice those improvements for sure.
And you mentioned before that there are some new difficulty modes with this update. So can you get into more detail on the new updates to Gears 5 that changed the difficulty of this game?
Yeah, I can talk about that a bit.
Go for it, Matt.
Now that I'm back. So we have the difficulty modes that Zoe mentioned, but there's also a bunch of mutators you can turn on that either make the game harder or easier. So actually you can see right there, I turned on poison on the enemies, so they leave a pool of acid behind. I also turned on grenade headshots, so when you pop their heads, they explode. I've also got only regenerating health on cover enabled here. So you can really ramp up the difficulties. You can do other things to the enemy or to yourself to make it easier or harder. I've got Raul, actually the lead designer who was leading New Game Plus, playing with me just in case I've turned up the difficulty too far and I DBNO. But yeah, so there's lots of stuff you can do to change the way the game plays. But actually, we can also show some of the crazier stuff in terms of how the game can look and sound completely different. So I'm going to pop out to the lobby and we can turn on some of the other mutators.
Would love to see it. Do you want to talk a little more about those?
About the mutators? Yeah, go for it. So actually, we were going to ask you, Kat, like what mutators do you want us to put on?
Oh, wow. I don't know. If we can activate all of them, would Matt be able to survive more than 10 seconds? That's my question.
Probably not, but we'll revive him, so, you know.
We could turn on a few. So I'm going to pop over. Actually, you can see we've got different skins here. This is a part of the game where Kate's in the player one role. And inside our mutator menu, in addition to turning on all the skins and stuff, we've got this big head or bobblehead mode, so I'll flick that on.
Definitely want that one.
Yeah.
We need some
laugh. It's gonna make you laugh.
We can turn on like low gravity death, so the enemies, they pop up in the air when you've killed them. There's an amazing one here that actually people have started to see online as people have started to put this out there. We have voiced gun sounds, so all the guns in the game change to one of our audio designers making all of the sounds. And then we have all these different screen effects for how the game can look. There's even like ones for Gears 1, 2, and 3 if you're feeling nostalgic. There's some pretty crazy ones in here.
But I'm sure you guys want to show off the new graphics, so I'm not going to make you turn that on.
Actually, we're going to turn on cartoon outlines. It makes Gears kind of look like a comic book, which is kind of fun with big head mode. So let's bounce into this other part.
I love how Kate looks right now.
It's the best.
And so before we get into this section of the game, by the way, can you so you've turned on some mutators, and rumor has it that you guys added you added a big head mode, which we just activated, and I also heard that you have a mode with voiceovers instead of the regular gun sounds, which we also activated. So we're going to see all of these things right now in the game. And I don't have sound here on the studio, but I hope people at home are having the best time listening to this once you start shooting.
It gets pretty chaotic because it's not just your gun noise, it's everybody's. It basically sounds like a bunch of kids running around making sounds with their mouths, which is pretty amazing.
And it's every gun in the game, too.
Yeah.
It's true, we can't hear the audio of the game, so I hope that people can hear the sound.
I mean, I guess I have a mission now when I get home to actually go play it and try it out. So I promise I'll check it out. So how many of these visual modes can players expect to see when they fire up the game?
Yeah, we have almost 20 of them, which is super fun. And so we're showing you cartoon outlines right now. There's other ones that Matt mentioned. So the vintage, I'll call them vintage Gears. You could do Gears 1, 2, and 3. There is also one that makes everything look really pixelated. There are ones that make everything look really cold. There's one called Trippy, where the world kind of moves and wobbles. So I think people are going to have a lot of fun with that.
If you two had to pick your one favorite, which one is it?
You know what? I'm going to say the Gears 1. I love it. It's really fun. Yeah, it's really fun. I'm with you, Kat. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's fun to play. I love this cartoon outline one. I think it makes the game look really fun, but kind of like you're playing through a comic book. But the nostalgic ones are really fun to go through as well.
So can you tell us a little, I know it's hard to pay attention when, all of the characters are running around with big heads, but what's going on this stage for those viewers who haven't played Gears 5?
Sure, this is sort of the start of the second act. And so Kate and Del have traveled out to an outsider village where they are trying to recruit the last sort of holdouts to come back into the COG cities because of the war that's going on against the Swarm. And then the town is attacked at the same time. And we also start to sort of get deeper into Kate's journey, which is a pretty fun part of the game. Oh my gosh, Raoul died.
Raoul died.
That will be on record.
He was supposed to be
forever.
helping me.
Well, that was actually pretty good timing, but
Yeah, that's pretty good timing. But yeah, it's pretty cool because when you go back through the story, you get to experience it in a whole new way. Whether you've chosen to modify the way the game looks or the way the game sounds, or you're just trying to ramp up your difficulty, it's a pretty great way to experience Gears all over again or for the first time.
That's awesome. And what kind of updated character and weapon skins will we see in the updated Gears 5? Because there was already so much offered. So what have you guys done so far?
Yeah, so because of this is being out now, so any skins, that you've been awarded or earned up until this was released, you're going to see in the game. So this skeleton skin, I think this came out on October 20th, so skeleton suit skins, so that's a new one. So you're going to be able to play all those skins that you've spent all that time earning, or those favorite skins of yours you've been collecting. I love seeing the whole sets. People have different sets of skins and weapons and all the different weapon skins that go together. So it's going to be really fun to see all of that together.
And one other thing that I was really, really curious about, because personally when I played Gears 5, one of the most fun new parts of Gears 5 was having Jack and upgrading him throughout playing the campaign. Can you go into a little more detail about carrying your Jack progression here?
Yeah, actually, so I've got it turned on right now. So I was able to hijack the enemies here. I just flipped them to my side. These are things that you get much later in the game that really can turn the tide in your favor. We've got the cloak mode already. We've got all of the things you would get later. So basically what it does is it takes your furthest Jack progression that you've reached in the campaign, and it gives you all of those things in your new game plus. It really changes the way the game played. And as Zoe said earlier, you can use this either just for fun, but also if you want to take on one of those new difficulty modes, or especially Iron Man, which requires you to do the whole campaign on one life, it can really be the difference between life and death.
Has anyone in the studio beat the game in one life?
Good question.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really hard.
No, it's definitely possible. Yeah. I mean, that's part of getting through that mode out into the wild. That's what everybody works with this stuff. So
yeah,
that's a really good challenge. I don't know if I'll take it, but it's a really good challenge.
We have a tester on our team that we give those higher difficulty challenges to, and he comes back to us and says, this isn't actually possible.
Yeah, this part might be not possible. Actually, it was a good moment to just give a shout out to everybody here at the Coalition, for all the things that we've been working on, leading up to launch. It's been a huge effort, and everybody in the studio has been super excited to be part of this launch and be able to deliver, whether it was tactics or the upgrades that we put in or the new modes. So a huge shout out to everybody here in Vancouver and all the teams we work with.
And I'll relay that too. For everyone from us, from Team Xbox, thank you so much. You guys at the Coalition, you put out so much love and passion into these games, and they mean so much to so many people. Me personally, Gears is a huge part of my life, and one of the big reasons why I'm even here today. It was really what got me into super, competitive gaming, and I made so many friends playing this game. So thank you for all your work.
Thank you, Kat.
Yeah, and Zoe and Matt, is there anything else our viewers should know about the game and what's happening here? Any new enemies? Anything that's going on before you two go?
Yeah, so as a part of our Xbox Series update and to just celebrate more widely casting Dave as Marcus, the upcoming campaign. So in multiplayer, we're giving away the Batista skin as himself. We call it the Animal, and that's him with his signature sunglasses on, and also his Batista finisher move, which is super fun to use. So they'll both be free in the game store for 7 days through to November 16th. And then on top of that, we all just want to tell everyone, come back if you've played Gears before, you've played the campaign before multiplayer, come back, play the campaign, have some fun, get silly with it. Use that new share button on the new controller on the Series X and X, and show us what crazy combos you come up with. There's already been some videos sent out, and they're just amazing. So we'd love to see it.
Zoe and Matt, thank you so much for joining us today on the stream here to show us Gears 5 on Xbox Series X. It was awesome hanging out with you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kat. It was really fun.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Happy launch day,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you. So for all of you Dave Batista fans, hurry up and check out the Gears 5 on Game Pass and in stores. With Gears 5, Series X fans get one of the best looking games on the market, completely optimized for the new consoles. All fans will get New Game Plus with Batista. Operation 5 is coming out this month, and we recently dropped news announcing our new campaign DLC, Hivebusters, that will also be out soon. Our next game was originally created only by one full-time developer, just one. And every time I see more of it, I say, how is this possible? You run, jump, slide, hack, slash, and shoot your way through the land of Sky, a mysterious series of floating islands hovering high above the Arctic Circle. This is Bright Memory.
世界各地的 Xbox 玩家们，大家好，我是光明记系列的游戏开发者飞燕群岛，非常高兴能够再